wearing pants for this nonsense, man. They can't even hear us right now. Like, what difference does it make? It?
Yeah, exactly.
Pants are overrated.
Yes,
They really are.
I reject them and all the other lies of the before times.
I haven't worn pants since March.
You know what? Live your best life.
Pantsless life.
I am not living my best life. I will tell you that. I would like to go someplace wearing pants.
About to have a
Hey,
sharp
everybody.
increase right now.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Tom Lommel. I am your host, your dungeon master, your master of ceremonies tonight for Minions of Mayhem. It is a game that runs on the system called For the Dungeon, which I got through Kickstarter just recently. And I decided I wanted to run something fun and wacky and zany, and this seems to fit the bill. So we're going to find out if I was right. I've been wrong before. So thank you so much for joining us. It's a great cause. I'm so glad to be back here on Saving Throw Show, supporting the Alzheimer's Association. As if you've watched from years past, you know that this is also a charity that's very near and dear to my heart and has touched my life. So if you are interested in donating to the cause, we have what I call the ladder of joy, things that are unlockables to help our hapless minions accomplish their task this fine evening. Or, you can just give out of the goodness of your heart. Or if you can't give, and I understand that too, please just spread the word on social media that the show is starting. Now's the best time for everybody to get in on the action and figure out what's going on, because it's going to be a little bit of a learning experience for all of us. But I think it's going to be pretty breezy and a lightweight system. So I think we're going to have a good time. With that, let's go around the horn and introduce our players. And also, you've picked out your pre-gen minions. For the Dungeon is a game where the players play minions instead of adventurers, and they have to accomplish whatever task their evil overlord has set before them, hopefully without getting squanched. So that's the premise of the game. I love the premise, and with that in mind, I'm not sure where we are. I didn't look at the Twitch overlay, so I'm going to go around the horn on my screen. So Ruben, why don't you introduce yourself and your character, please?
Oh, hi everybody. I'm the internet's Ruben Bressler, Mox Ruby, and I will be playing Herc Loot Dingles. Herc is an ogre poet bard. I'm very passionate about performance. I have a delightful, ornate dwarven bassoon that I hope to one day take to Carnegie Dungeon. But it takes lots of axes. Axes is the way to get to Carnegie Dungeon.
Very good, very good. Yes, Herc Loot Dingles. I named the characters. All of this is my fault. Next up around my screen, be Dave Walters.
Oh, hello. Two quick preambles. One, my pretty pink red nail polish, just because we've discovered in the quarantine, my girls like painting my nails and it makes them happy. So here we are. This is my life now. The other thing I would say real quick, I know when it comes to these charity things, it's like really tough economically for a lot of people right now. There's been plenty of times in my life that I could not spare an extra $5, but I just want to say literally every dollar counts. So don't feel bad if you can't drop 20 or 200 or $1,000 like you see some people doing. Bits, a single dollar, it all really does add up. So thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Now, with that being said, I shall be playing Sir Estinus Previa, and I take exception with this idea that we are mere minions. I myself am the hero of my own story. I'm a paladin who, just because I failed myself, my order, and my god, doesn't mean I should not be listened to as the tactical genius that I very much am.
And you're also something else.
I've been told I'm a ghoul. I don't feel like a ghoul. I feel as grand as I ever was, really. And I believe civilized people can see through these petty layers to see the real hero that I am, who is also a ghoul inside.
I mean, in this day and age, who doesn't have a thirst for human flesh?
Yeah, that's a different game. That one is behind the paywall. But yeah.
All right. Next up, Ashlyn Rose.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Ashlyn Rose. I play Tuturu on Rafting for the Broken Pact. And today I am playing Gravel Butt. I'm a 3-foot tall earth elemental. I like rocks and tasting gems and minerals. That's it.
Oh.
I'm here to lick things.
Very good, very good. Nega Oryx.
You too.
Hey, hello, I'm Nega Oryx, and today I will be playing Wolf Bark Bark Bark! Bark Bark Bark! Wolf Bark 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 is a good dog, not a bad dog, good dog, good dog. Wolf Bark 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 is a fidgety gnoll with a really big axe, though. And I think y'all are really gonna like her. Thank you so much for having me. And as previously stated, every single dollar counts. So if you have some, any and all amounts are appreciated. And if not, don't forget retweets and tweets and all that good stuff. Hosts here on Twitch are free. And thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to see how much good we can do together.
Aki.
Hi, everybody. I'm Aki, and today I will be playing Grimy Liquiddle. Grimy Liquiddle is an enthusiastic goblin. Yes, and I'm very protective of my friends. Also, Sir Athenis should not be the leader of this group. I should be. I said it. I believe it. I'm sticking to it. But yeah, that's me. I'm Grimy Liquiddle. Pronouns are they, them. Don't get it twisted.
You're only sticking to it because you're sticky from filth.
Speak for yourself.
All right. Before we delve further into our characters here, I want to give everyone a little background of the world that they inhabit. The life of a random monster is never easy, but things took a tough turn when you signed on to hench for the maniacal archwizard, Fecna Bright Eyes. Frail and decrepit, the wizard has gotten short-tempered and capricious in his old age, a fact that was painfully demonstrated 2 months ago when Fecna fell into a roaring fury and disintegrated every one of his minions except for his trusted lieutenant, Cuss. You were brought on as the new hired help. For the most part, it's the usual dungeon maintenance routine: scatter foreboding skulls in the entryways, set traps for curious adventurers, and feed the carrion crawlers on level 3. But you still spend every waking moment attempting to avoid the wizard's wrath. Hopefully the grueling work and punishment will be worth it, because you may be a lowly minion, but you have big dreams. So I always like to do a little bit of relationship building, even though it's a one-shot. I always find that kind of adds a little spice to the game that really brings the mix to life. So I have some kind of fill-in-the-blank kind of character bonds questions for each one of you, just very, very briefly. So I will start with Herc.
Yes, Herc Loot Dingles.
Herc,
Yes,
Blank and I both got in trouble on the very first day in the dungeon, but their quick thinking is the only reason we didn't both get fireballed into cinders. Who is the person who you got in trouble with?
Wolf, Bork, and I were going through the dungeon at one point, and I accidentally set off some sort of trap mechanism. But Wolf, Bork was able to sort of push me into a spike pit, which was better than the fireball that came out of it.
Wolf Bark is a good dog. Always push into the pit. Good dog.
All right, very good. Sir Estinus, Blank is clearly the wizard's favorite. I'm going to try to ride their coattails.
Gravelbutt is clearly the wizard's favorite. That small elemental is always sniffing out precious gems as long as I can scoop it up before it disappears down into its gravelly maw. He ends up being so happy afterwards. We don't want to be on the wrong side of Fecna, after all.
Very good, very good. Speaking of Gravelbutt, I saw Blank pocket some gold from Fecna's stash, but I decided not to rat them out for now. Who did you see pocketing gold against, of course, minion norms?
Well, I was just looking around for some amethyst, which I can never find for some reason, and I kind of saw Grimy.
All right.
That's all.
That's all.
I knew it.
With the sticky fingers. You mentioned the stickiness earlier.
Yes, they said it out loud in front of everyone.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Woof, bork, bork, bork. I don't know what it is, but everything Blank says sounds like a good idea.
It's always Gravelbutt, because Gravelbutt asks me to pick up the best rocks, and then we play fetch together. And sometimes, even though I do a good job at fetching, Gravelbutt doesn't give them back, but I still try.
You find really shiny rocks.
The shiniest rocks.
They taste the best.
That's why we're such good friends.
Yes.
All right, and finally, Grimy.
Yeah.
Blank almost got assigned to polishing the gelatinous cube down on level 6, but I pulled some strings with Lieutenant Cuss and got them a job restocking the giant rats on level 1. This person owes me.
Oh. Yeah, I like the idea of Sir Astinus owing me a favor.
All right, I like that idea too. All right, very good. So just to recap, Herc and Woof both got in trouble on the very first day. Woof's quick thinking is the only reason that they didn't both get fireballed into cinders. Sir Estinus believes that Gravelbutt is clearly the wizard Fecna's favorite, and Sir Estinus is going to try and ride their coattails. Gravelbutt saw Grimy pocket some gold from Fecna's stash, but decided not to rat Grimy out for now. Woof thinks everything that Gravelbutt says is a good idea. And finally, Sir Estinus almost got assigned to polishing the gelatinous cube down on level 6, but Grimy pulled some strings with Lieutenant Cuss and got them a job restocking the giant rats on level 1. Sir Estinus owes Grimy a favor. All right, so those are our characters. We have to do just a little bit of bookkeeping here, since we have had some donations from the chat, which is terrific. Thank you so much. I believe we've raised over $500 now, if I'm counting correctly, against what I laid out in the ladder of joy,
Very nice.
as I so lovingly refer to it. So I made little character sheets for everybody. You start with 2 zeal, but because the chat unlocked a zip to your step, you start with 4 zeal. So zeal can be used to re-roll a roll that you don't like. The basic mechanics of this game is when you try to do something, you name the things that are in your favor and describe what you're trying to do, and then you get between 1 and 3 dice to accomplish that. If you get a 6 on any of your dice, that's an unqualified success. If you get a 4 or 5 on your dice, that's generally a mixed success. If you get a 3 or less, that's a failure and I get to be mean. And if you get a 3 or less and any of your dice shows a 1, that's a critical failure and you take harm and may be squanched. So it's a little dice pool system. It should be fast and breezy. I like how flexible it is. But you can use zeal if you get or if you don't like your roll, to re-roll. If you are going to die because you fail your harm roll, you can use zeal. You can spend zeal to save yourself. So everybody's got 4 zeal to start with. Also,
can we spend zeal to save someone else?
Generally, that's not the way it works. It's you know, I made 14 pre-gen characters for a reason.
Yeah.
We may not kill anyone. We'll see what happens. This is the first time.
I haven't died yet, so
Listen to Gravelbutt. I'll keep you safe.
You survived the first 23 minutes, so congratulations. Also, everybody starts with 3 shiny, but you each get to roll a d6, and you get to add that number to your starting shiny. So
Ooh.
let me know if anybody
I
rolls something.
rolled a 4.
Yeah. So you start with 7. Wow, you start with 8.
I rolled a 1.
Okay, 4, 2. Very good. So that's 5 and 6.
Clearly, I'm the most beautiful and capable, which is why I'm the shiniest.
Shiny can be used to buy items if you have the opportunity to buy items, and you all start with a tool. You start with a talent, a tool, and some motivation. So that's it. Unless somebody has a really outstanding question that's just burning a hole in their pocket, we will start adventuring. Let's start adventuring. All right.
Yes.
It is a busy night in Castle Bloodgutter. You've already had 9 wandering monsters run off, 3 adventuring parties try to break in, and one of the shambling mounds strangled all the kobolds in charge of the pit traps. But just when you think things can't get worse, Lieutenant Cuss says those magic words. Boss wants to see you. Dutifully, you hurry down to the inner sanctum of Fecna, archwizard, necromancer, and scourge of your existence. The gaunt sorcerer sits atop a golden throne, his pale figure wrapped in a satin robe embroidered with magic runes. Minions! My transformation to an eternal life of lichdom is nearly complete. All that remains is crafting a proper phylactery. Fortunately, my long weeks of diligent scrying have paid off, and I have found it. The Jade Vase of Nursel Blackthorn. It is located in the Temple of Fundamental Evil, just outside the village of Homelight. I am tasking you, my most faithful and talented minions, with retrieving it. But beware, the temple inhabitants are chaotic and cruel, and it is rumored that my lifelong rival, the vampire Claude von Berovich, has also sent his forces to steal the vase away from me. Bring the vessel back in pristine condition, and I shall reward you beyond your wildest dreams. Put one scratch on it, and you shall feel the full fury of my extreme disappointment. Now, off with you.
Yes, sir. Okay. We will go
You
do
can
that.
count on us. We'll
Hey.
do a great job.
I feel like a number of words were said there. The home light, I suppose that's as good a place. My home is very well lit. Okay, right.
Oh my gosh. Let's go.
Did Master say Jade?
Master did say Jade Gravel Butt, but you
Gravel
can't
Gravel
eat
butt
butt.
happy. Gravel butt find Jade.
You should not chew on the jade, though.
Yeah,
Oh,
you can't eat this.
I mean, I guess we'll
Gra-
cross that bridge when we get to it, but, just keep it in mind that this is not a snack.
just no vases in vases. I call them vases where I come from. No receptacles of any kind today, Gravel Butt. Just none, please.
Oh. Gravel butt will like dejectedly pull out. She carries a bag of coal with her, and she's gonna pull out a piece of coal and start munching on it.
Oh, I don't feel, it's going to be fine. There's going to be lots of rocks. It's just this one rock. You shouldn't. No.
We're pretty sure if you do, Fecna will probably murderize all of us. And I don't know, he's not the greatest, but I don't feel like dying today.
Okay.
Although that robe is immaculate, it looks very form-fitting. It looks very breezy. It's like cool in the summer, but warm in the winter. That sort of fabric. I like it.
It's fine, I guess.
Well, shall we away? Is this a place we can reach on foot? Should we go astride our glorious mounts? How far is home light from here?
Sounds awful.
It
Light
does
is
sound objectively terrible, doesn't it?
It is a few days away, but of course you're not going to be provided any sort of ride, mounts or horses. Your minions.
Well,
Fly, you fools!
I hate it. That is the worst. Do we know of any sort of like spiders good for riding, or is there like a horse stables nearby that we can rob from? You know, like highway robbers. We are,
minions.
minions after all.
Herc, it sounds like you're trying to come up with a cunning ploy.
Yes,
Mhm.
cunning, very.
So, do you have any attributes on your sheet that would help you in crafting a cunning ploy here?
In crafting something cunning, absolutely not. I don't have any skill in this at all.
I am incredibly well read. Do I know anything that might be relevant to the task at hand?
Yeah, if you would like to take this over from Herc, you're welcome to apply your considerable knowledge here.
Might I assist you, my friend? I know you, as an artist, need certain time in repose. You know, perhaps you should direct your considerable mental powers towards the artistic and allow me to embrace the tactical for the time being.
Absolutely, I will toss the plan to the Witcher.
It's yes, but keep working. We need to workshop that story about me. You know, I realize there's not a lot of words that rhyme with Astinus, but you know, I
I'm
feel
working
like
on it. It's
Yes,
getting
no.
there.
Well, at least the first syllable describes you perfectly.
That is a good joke. It's funny. It's both funny and well executed. Well done.
Yeah, it was funnier the first 7 times. Fine.
I thought it was
Dude.
just as funny that time. It was still
Yeah.
funny. Good job. Good joke.
Thanks. Hey, Wolf, look what I got. You want it? You want it?
Yeah.
Go fetch!
And Woof Bork goes off running in the direction that it went. Just nose to the ground, like Scooby doing it, like.
All right. So, I since Herc doesn't have any traits, I think you always get to roll at least 1 die. And since Sir Estinus is helping him with this, then you can roll 2 dice and see how well you can.
Yeah.
You can
My only
speed
other
the journey along here.
My only other thought would be to try to steal the carrion crawlers that are on level 3, and ride them into battle. I don't know if that is going to be a better idea or not, but I think that maybe
Are
we
you
could.
seriously considering stealing from Feknot? Do you
Well,
think?
just it's not stealing. It's like it's borrowing. We'll bring them back in a minute.
I'm going to say something terrible that tastes bad in my mouth even to form the syllables, but I agree with Grimy. Perhaps robbing the boss in the first 5 minutes of the mission is ill-advised.
Well, fine. That's fair. We can just go rob this farmer. Oh, look, horses. And I rolled 2 dice.
You rolled 2 6-siders because Sir Estinus is helping you. Of course, that also drags Sir Estinus into the fictional consequences here.
Right. I rolled a 6 and a 5.
Oh, okay, great. All right. Since Sir Estinus is helping you, Sir Estinus happens to know of a winding underground tunnel that happens to a series of dungeons that used to be connected that have fallen into disrepair, but you're able to navigate without having to go along the surface and expose yourself to normal people. That will take you to the village of Homelight. Homelight. Gee, where did I steal most of this from? So yeah, you can I wasn't really planning to give you mounts, but I like the carrion crawler idea. I think the way that plays out is you can have the carrion crawlers until you emerge in the village. You won't be able to take them out of the tunnels.
Sure. That's fine. And we can send them back through the tunnel. It's not like they'll go running when we let them off into the woods or whatever. They'll just go home.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah. All right. Hi there, carrion crawler. I'm gonna do the like Crocodile Dundee thing. Like sun's getting real low, and like try to mount a carrion crawler.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't. This is a very what I would call kind of a fiction forward system, right? Like you've rolled, it's a success. We don't have to play out every single like step of you.
Great.
Like you've tamed the carrion crawlers, you ride the carrion crawlers, we have random
Sure.
encounters with the carrion crawlers. Do you successfully dismount the carrion crawlers?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
to me,
All
that's
right.
not interesting. Yes, you have found a terrific shortcut. You've you've managed to somehow abscond with the carrion crawlers off of level 6 without Lieutenant Cuss or perhaps certainly without Fecna noticing. And
Really didn't think that was gonna work.
and so what would be normally a 3-day journey turns out to be just a couple days because or a couple nights because you're able to take the tunnels in a more direct route than you had expected. Whereas if you had gone overland, you would have had to dodge, people on the road and things like that.
Can I
All right.
can I ask a question?
Yes.
About my ability is if I give the plan and someone follows the plan, they roll an extra die. Do I need to like overtly express to them the plan in advance, or since this is the kind of thing that it's like I'm well read, I might know something? Like, how does that work?
Well, I think if you're telling everyone else, like, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to set up an ambush here, and then when we get to this thing, we'll fall back to this choke point. Da, da, da. Like, if
Got
you're
it.
trying to set up create an advantage in a situation, then I think you have to tell everybody because they get to roll when they follow the plan.
Got it. Okay.
So for instance, if you say the number one priority is to snatch the vase away from the ogre,
Right.
they get an extra die when they're doing that, and if they're not doing that, they don't get the extra die.
Right. And I need Gravel Bud to have an extra die to not eat the vase. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
We'll see.
I won't eat. Just store it in my mouth.
Yep. Safekeeping.
I don't think that's how that works. But what's the plan?
Hi ho, Silver, away, and we'll all ride on a carrion crawler to our next checkpoint.
Right. You emerge into the setting afternoon sun alongside a dusty, rutted road, which is lined with closely grown hedges of brambles and shrubs. To either hand, forest and meadow have given way to field and orchard. A small herd of kine graze nearby as the road angles west into the hill country, and to either side of the road ahead are barns and buildings. Home light at last. Your adventure begins. So there is a road stretching out in front of you. There are several farmhouses, and village buildings. You notice that there is looks like a trading post. There's an inn, and there is a temple ahead of you.
It is not a temple of elemental evil, is it?
It is not. If you look a little bit closer, it clearly carries the symbol of the renowned saint Eagleheart Humperdinck.
Wow.
Ew.
This place gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Well, yeah,
Yes.
the heebie-jeebies. Major heebies and jeebies.
I will send, as soon as we would emerge from the tunnel, that is where I'm going to leave the carrion crawler and send Bessie back whence she came, and then we'll take it on foot the rest of the way.
All right.
Wolf, Wolf, you are, of course, the best Wolf. You are, in fact, the best doggy Wolf. Do you, by chance, smell anything particularly stinky? If the Claude von Berovich's people came through here, I'm sure they smell worse than Grimy does. Maybe you can pick up their scent and see which way they went.
Hey, I come by my stink honestly, okay? Don't compare me to those fools.
You have gotten honestly very grimy. That is correct. I've agreed with you twice now. Ooh.
Good grimy though. Strong smells, good smells. Yeah. I'll try. I got good nose for sniffing. And Wolf is just gonna kind of put her little nose to the ground and do like a big snuffle. You know, like when dogs really get in there and then they come out with dirt all over their faces.
All right. That sounds like a single die to me.
My talent is I have a nose like no other.
Right. That's your first die.
So that's my first. Do I get a second one because I'm following his plan though? Because he set forth the plan of, you know, we're following my nose. Is that? Mm-hmm.
I'll allow it.
Okay.
Specifically because he mentioned like the Claude's, your rival
Yeah.
Claude's forces. So if he just tells you to do something, I don't know that that's following a plan. But
Right.
because this is part of a larger picture, yeah, I'll give you the second die on that.
Okay. All right. Fingers crossed. How good's this nose?
Where?
That's a 6 out of 5.
Nice.
What is happening? All right.
We roll good early so that we die halfway
True.
through.
You got to
Yeah.
build up the dramatic tension to
true.
like,
Right.
woo!
Yeah.
All right. So you are looking around. You get to ask one question from the following list. Okay, and I will answer it. So the questions are: what is dangerous here? What is valuable here? What has recently happened here? And what is hidden here?
Ooh, definitely what's dangerous here.
Okay. So you pick up the scent of kind of the standard barnyard and farming type of things, right? People who are sweaty, sheep, cows, all that sort of stuff, right? That doesn't strike you as unusual. That's completely what you expect. And you are a minion of the Archwizard Fecna. You are not intimidated by farmers and cattle. However, you also pick up the sour smell of badly brewed beer and the road stench of somebody who has probably traveled a little bit too much recently. It doesn't have any kind of supernatural scent to it, but it definitely has the unsavory element of people who maybe have been traveling a bit too far, maybe traveling covertly, people who have something to hide, and people who are violent. Because there's a tinge of leather and steel to the whole thing as well.
I'm picking something up. And based on how gross that beer smells, it's not good, y'all. It's not good. There's danger afoot, and cheaply brewed beer is its stench.
Man, that's terrible.
Leather Dad is an IPA. Are they frat boys? Ugh, the worst.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if Woof Bork 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 wants to go any farther if those are the kind of people we're gonna be dealing with.
Well, can you get the direction on or is it just beer all around us? Terrible, terrible beer everywhere.
With
Like
a-
downtown.
With a nose this sensitive, that's all I smell. It's just
That's-
cheap beer and leather and violence and
That is a fair point.
I
Just-
grab Wolf by the side of the face, just like put their like null face in front of mine. I'm like, I realize these people may be terrible, but Fecna is a much more terrible person if we fail him. Which
you-
way, dog? Which way?
You're right.
Would I have any kind of direction to point them in that
Yeah.
the smell is stronger from?
Well, so it's a couple different smells that are mixing, right? There's the weird kind of like the smell that you find most curious. Let me put it this way: the smell that you find most curious is coming from there's a trading post in town that looks looks like it's not doing a lot of business, to be honest. You know, as you look at kind of the buildings in town, the beer smell is definitely coming from the inn at the center of town.
Okay.
And there are, of course, that doesn't surprise you that there are some travelers there.
Right.
But there's something unsavory about the way that the trading post smells.
Well, that's different. Sorry.
Wolf is gonna kind of look in the direction of the tavern and go, bad beer that direction, and then turn towards the trading post and do the thing the dogs do where they're kind of like sniffing, and then point. And she's just gonna focus dead ahead and go, trading post, that way.
You think
And
we should
take
go
off
to
into a gallop, not even gonna wait to hear what anyone
Right,
says.
we
Just
are
Well,
going.
book in
there,
it.
think
there
we
she
should-
goes.
We should go in that direction.
Can't really
Apparently.
protect her if
Follow
she
her.
runs away. All
Well,
right.
she's the one with the axe, after all.
I'm gonna lumber slowly in that direction.
I will also follow enthusiastically.
I will follow dramatically.
And I'll just let's rock and roll. I'll start following.
All right. So you come upon a small wooden building that has shuttered windows. Outside the door, there's a shield and a lantern that are suspended from a chain. And the shield is painted, and it shows it has a sword and a cheese on it. And it looks like this is the local
Is
trading post. So
is Wolf already inside?
No, I don't think so. But you're kind of approaching it from sort of the front side, right? You're just she just sort of like went straight down the road towards it. So you're kind of making a front approach here.
Do you think they have actual cheese in there?
I certainly hope so. Cheese is great.
Cheese is wonderful.
Are we seeing any people around us?
It's late afternoon. It seems like it's dinner time right now, so there's not a lot of traffic at the moment. But it's a village of probably like 60, 80 people.
Okay.
So what's a lot? I don't know.
Yeah, they'll probably stay off the street if they see a gang that includes a rock elemental, an ogre, a zombie person, a gnoll, and a ghoul. So
when we like kind of creep up to this place, I'm like, okay, team, huddle up for a moment. I'd like to pose a quandary to all of you. What exactly is our goal state here? We're looking for an evil temple somewhere in the area, yes. So what do we need here?
Well, in my opinion, I think that we can probably, at a place like a trading post or an inn or even a temple, we could get information by asking around. If the inn has violent types that we don't want to deal with yet, and of course the temple will probably not be taking kindly to our type of people, maybe the trading post, I wasn't going to say it, but you're kind of ghoulish. So maybe the trading post, especially because it smells kind of weird, we are kind of weird. You're kind of weird. We could probably get some sort of discussion happening without them immediately calling the police.
What do you think, Gravelbutt? I've always found your advice to be very down to earth.
Gravelbutt thinks we should go and tavern trading post. See what they have. Who
Look
they
at
are.
that grimy abandon us in our moment of need. I told you not to trust that despicable goblin.
It's okay, I'm peeking up above the line and so they can see me. Sort of.
Of all of us, I guess we all are very clearly monstrous, right? Like nobody's even passingly human. Right?
Sir Estinus, you might pass as human. Depends upon how much you conceal your your ghoulish claws. That's the main feature that might give you away. Although you have a very pale complexion, I don't know, whether you stink of the grave or not. You're not a ghast per se.
Do you want to try? Do you want to try to take this one alone and pass for human, or should we all just go in and mean mug?
No, I feel like that's the opposite of what we should do as all of us. Wolf, you are again the best doggy. Perhaps if you handed your axe to Herx, are you capable of just appearing like a regular mundane hound? And then I'm just a
Right.
wandering nobleman and my faithful canine companion.
Right as Astonus says this, Wolf has like planted her butt on the ground and is lifting like her hind leg to try and scratch her ear like this to like get a spot, and she goes,
Huh? Yeah, yeah. Good dog. Regular dog. Good dog. Wolf can be a good dog. Arf, arf, arf. But maybe just to really convince them, you should practice giving me really good head pats and scratches first. Just so
Yeah.
we gotta make sure we're on the same page and that it's gonna be convincing.
Yes.
Right behind the right ear. Go just like up a little where I can't
But
quite reach.
But I'm not supposed to use my
Really
claws. You
got
see,
in
it's more of a pet. I think I'm just sort of like it.
No, I think it has to be with your claws. I think we
Oh,
really
is
gotta
it
get the
really just?
scratches.
Here, you
okay,
can
yes,
use
right.
my ornate dwarven bassoon to scratch behind the ear if you
Yes.
really need to.
I'm like, perfect. I promise you, I will steal you the finest sausage from inside the establishment. Okay, here's the plan. Wolf and I will go inside and reconnoiter the area. And if you hear, screamings and fisticuffs, then the rest of you come in and kill everyone.
Good idea. Great
Okay.
idea. I like.
I know how to do that.
Yes. Oh, remember that at this stage of the narrative, the epic poem that you are scribing, that Wolf and I bravely infiltrated the establishment while Gravelbutt and Huck lumbered in wait, and Grimy ran like a filthy coward.
Sounds good to Wolf.
And try and, pull up like a hood a little bit, kind of whatever like I have left of some gloves, knock some schmutz off and head in.
Okay. All right. So you head inside. It's dimly lit. There's only one person behind the desk, and let's see here. He just stares like straight at, and he's like, "What?"
Hello.
What?
Wolf is gonna kind of like take the first 2 steps inside on just her hind legs, and then remember that she's supposed to be passing as like a regular dog, and just slowly lean forward on all 4s, and then continue the rest of the way like that.
Oh.
Yes, my canine is from the Highlands. They've been trained to maneuver the peat bogs very daintily. Hello. We've come as adventurers. We are here to liberate a nearby evil temple of sorts, and we need some assistance in locating it so that we might go there and destroy everything evil inside.
All right. So it sounds to me like you're essentially sort of trying to persuade this guy to like spill the beans, like, hey, we're gonna come in and take care of the Temple of Fundamental Evil and liberate the countryside and help your village out here. Can you point me in the proper direction, right? Like
That is it. And quite frankly, that is actually the truth. I didn't say I'm not doing it for a bad reason.
Yeah,
that is the goal. So I'm not lying to the guy.
So this feels like a talk it over kind of action to me. I don't know what sort of traits you're going to try and apply here. I will say that there's a scene trait in play here that you're also able to use, and I'm going to call that scene trait an air of mystery, because you know that this is or something unseemly, right? An air of mystery, something unseemly, because you know that there's something up with this place, maybe not necessarily specifically with this guy, to your knowledge, but you know that something weird is going on. So that'll give you 1 die for sure.
Okay. My motivation is to impress people. I don't know if that counts. I'm trying to seem like a man of mystery here. I don't know if that matters.
I appreciate the fact that you just straight up just dished the plot on him, like right into his face. So for being like so completely blatant about your motivations, I'll give you another die. So you can roll 2
Subtlety
dice.
is overrated, my friend. You
Yeah.
waste a lot of time beating around the bush when you could just be beating the person.
Oh, boy.
I think that's unless you tell me there's something else relevant. Because I know Bork is with me, but she's not doing anything that like overtly assists, correct?
I don't feel like walking in on your hind legs and then getting back into dog character is helping your case. So no.
I mean, isn't it though? Okay, so all right, so I'm gonna roll the 2.
2 dice.
I got 2 5s.
2 5s. Okay, so so according to the rules, this guy's gonna demand something more before he's willing to help you, and he's like,
He can scritch my hound. It's fine. She's adorable. I know. She loves Tummy Zerberts.
He looks at you and you see his face fall, and he says, "Hey man, if you're gonna talk about that stuff, you all got to get inside here and close the door."
Fine. I'm like, watch this. My hound is very well trained. Shut the door to the tavern, hound.
Woof just like makes dead eye contact with the guy at the trading post and leans her hind leg up and kicks it to try and close the door without breaking eye contact.
Isn't she magnificent?
Tail
Yeah.
wag.
What do you think? I've never seen a gnoll before. Quit screwing around. When I say everybody come inside, everybody comes inside.
Oh, you've seen through our ruse. Fantastic. Well, if you were already observed us, then you do know that the plan is in the event of the unfortunate, we'll kill everyone inside. You do know this,
Hey,
right?
what's up?
I'll go let everyone in.
And Woof is gonna stand up on her hind legs and like her tail goes between her legs a little bit and her neck's
You
kinda
were
drooping.
magnificent, Wolf. It wasn't you, it was him.
Oh, okay, thank you.
And
Has anybody ever told him he talks too much? I can hear him out here, and it's just on and on and on, just all day long.
Oh, Grimey's return once the hard work is done. Typical.
Well, I would have come in with you, except you wouldn't let me. I swear.
So, now that we're all here, these are the rest of our friends. Does Gravel Butt need to smash? Not yet, Gravel Butt. Not yet.
Yes, TBD, my friend.
Oh my!
Yeah.
The farmer and the dog are actual. Okay, I guess we're not doing that anymore. That's fine.
No, but it was highly effective, though, Herc. Yes,
Great,
so.
great.
Yes, the Herc, Gravelbutt, Wolf, Grimy, Sir Astunus. Yes.
What is your name?
And my name's Granos. So, come on. You're not trying to liberate the countryside of the Temple of Fundamental Evil. I know what you're up to.
What
You're
are
looking
we-
for a job. Well, I happen to have some connections over the temple, and depending upon what kind of work you're looking to do, I might be able to hook you up. What's your specialty? Greed? Malice? Corruption?
Yes.
Filth?
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
I'm
all
good.
those.
I'm good at performance. If that's what you mean by specialty.
He is magnificent, yes, but the bongos he plays is usually human heads.
I see. Well, there's as you all obviously know, the Temple of Fundamental Evil is making a big comeback, and each of the factions of the temple is vying to be the #1. So, yeah, depending upon what your specialty is, what you're interested in doing, I can try and get you hooked up with one of the temples.
Grimy, what do you believe that you are the least terrible at?
Well, I'd like to say it's punching your face in, but unfortunately, I've not yet succeeded in doing that, but we'll see. There is time yet. But I
mean-
would say that general crime is something we're pretty good at, but we're a pretty greedy bunch. We like stuff. We like to collect stuff. I mean, look at Gravel Butt. She has a whole collection of rocks. It's kind of amazing.
I
And,
brought
like-
some. Do you want to see? She'll start pulling out different rocks. Amethyst,
Wow.
She's always craving that
granite.
mineral.
Wow.
This one, Grammy tried to trick me. It's painted rock.
A beautiful rock.
I mean, I wasn't trying to trick her. I just
We
thought
are
that maybe
actually-
she wanted something a little different.
We are actually looking for a very specific rock, and that rock is jade. And the jade.
Maybe we don't necessarily reveal that aspect of the
Well,
work that we're looking to do just yet.
Why
my-
not? It seems like this person sees through us and is like with our business.
Yes, but we also don't necessarily want this person telling everyone else, Herc, you see. You know, we just need to get into the temple, my good man, ogre personage.
Oh, okay.
I mean, think of it this way. The less that we tell him now, the more you can sing to him about it later. Collect the story.
Exactly. And it's far less likely we'll have to kill him.
I mean, he seems pretty nice for a human. Don't want to kill him if we don't have to.
Are you a human?
Yeah, I'm a human. My name's Granos.
Okay. Yeah, that's a very human name.
That's a really good name. I like that name.
So what should we? So this is nice. What do we do now?
Yes, we need to move the plot along, Granhost, you see.
Yeah, I'm happy to tell you where the place is. Greed sounds like your specialty. You may want to talk to the Temple of Greed. They are fire worshippers.
Oh,
Did you
Okay.
say fire?
I did say fire. Yeah. See, the way they got it mapped out, it's like each of the fundamental evils kind of maps to a certain element, right? Greed is fire because once something starts burning, you just got to keep burning more. Otherwise, you're not burning anymore.
It consumes. No, I get it. It's an apt metaphor, yes.
Which one is connected to Earth?
Yeah, I think the Earth is, in fact, the one. This is 3 times. Grimey's been correct. Yes, I
Yeah.
believe the Earth might be more our cup of grog, as it were.
Maybe so. That's the evil called filth.
That's the one! That's it!
Yes, I believe it may be.
That's the one we want!
Earth is
That is
best element.
That is definitely a lot of our specialties is filth.
Gravel Butt speaks the truth as always, yes.
All right. I'm not gonna question that, I guess. You're looking for a dwarf named Freythos. Tell him Granos sent you. That way I get my commission.
great.
Don't tell any of the townspeople that you're trying to work for the Temple of Fundamental Evil.
We're not working. Well, I'm going to stop talking now, and Herc is gonna leave.
I believe I said we were going to destroy everyone inside and liberate the town, is what I said. So, where do we go about locating this dwarf?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's in the temple. You go down to dungeon level 3.
You're missing a key connecting piece of data here, Granos. The whole thing is, where is the
right.
temple, man? No, stay with me. I know it's easy to become distracted by all of this. No, but where is the temple?
I don't mean to be so forward, but what have you been eating?
People.
And on that note, that's when Grimy kind of goes, all right, I'm gone.
Follow the river south for about 6 miles and then head east for 4 miles. You'll find the temple.
South, then east. Thank you, Granos. Dealing with you has been a snap. And I turn and leave.
All right, very good. All right. So
excellent work, Wolf. Excellent. Well, this Gritchies. There, you were magnificent. That couldn't have worked without you.
And just like drool and spittle is going all over him.
All right, as you are leaving the trading post, unfortunately at this point, a wagon pulls up with one of the local farmers who's apparently like come to pick something up.
Mm.
I would like to try to hide.
Okay. Are you all going to hide or
No.
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 Okay.
I will follow Grimy.
Okay.
I'm 6'6" and 377 pounds. Where am I going to hide?
No, you shouldn't be ashamed of what you are, Herc. No.
I'm not ashamed. I'm trying not to die.
I'm not ashamed of this is what the peak male form looks like.
That is true. It is an athletic silhouette there. You know, the ripped abs are overrated. I myself, of course, have a 12-pack, but it's also because I'm thoroughly desiccated.
My face is my meal ticket after all. Hello, fellow traveler. How are you this fine day?
All right. So first we're going to resolve whether was it Wolf and Grimy who were going to try and sneak away? All right. So Grimy
Gravelbutt is too.
Oh, okay, the three of you. All right. So Grimy, what do you have what traits do you have that are going to help you what are you going to try and do to sneak away? What's your approach here?
Was that me, Grimy?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
And just to be clear, so like the best way that I've found that games like this work is like if you can specifically tell me what you're trying to do, and then we'll kind of figure out what what dice apply. But the reason it's good to describe exactly what you're doing is that way I know kind of in my head like, okay, here's the consequences that might stem from that going wrong,
Right.
Cool.
or going really right.
All right. Well, Grimy Liquidle is a terrific sprinter. So I think when they see the humans coming, they just haul ass for the direction in which they need to go. So
Okay.
you just see a cloud of dust as they start heading south. And that's how they attempt to hide. They just run.
All right. All right. That's unfortunately that's going to be across the road in front of them, but. So you're just kind of sprint that way and hope that that
they might mistake me for a dirty child.
Yeah, they might not see, and you might be moving so fast they don't really see who you are.
I do want to interject real quick that my perk is distraction, and so I will be attempting to draw the eyes as the other ones are hiding.
Okay, well let's take care of that first. Then you're right. Okay. So
my perk is distraction, and when I attempt to distract or stall for time, I make a roll, and then depending on my number, something happens.
Sure.
And I roll a 4. On a 4 or a 5, I distract them for a short amount of time, but they retaliate when your time is up.
Okay.
Hello, fellow traveler on the road. Fancy seat, nice wagon you have. And I'm just like trying to awkwardly lean like Thor does in Ragnarok. And like, hopefully the other 3 that are trying to escape and abscond are able to do so as I'm doing this.
Okay. All right. So Grimy, you've got one die for being a great sprinter. Woof and Gravelbutt, do you have anything that might help play into this this saga of great speed being to your advantage?
Woof is really reckless. So Woof didn't assess the situation whatsoever. It was like a blip on her radar of danger and react without planning. So being as tied to her nose as she is, I think Woof would dive into the nearest either like pile of something if there's anything nearby that is particularly stinky, or if there are any like barrels or bales of hay. I think Woof is drawn to stuff that she thinks will mask her scent because she's so nose oriented.
Okay. All right. So it sounds like you're doing a more of a hide than a sprint away that Grimy's doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looking to duck and cover.
What about you, Gravelbutt?
Well, back in Gravelbutt's quarry, Gravelbutt would hide when Gravelbutt mom got really mad, and to hide, you curl into a ball until the earth stops shaking. So Gravelbutt's going to curl into a ball.
Okay. All right. Great. So Gravelbutt rolls a single die, I think. You're using your skin of stone to just kind of look like a big rock.
Pretty
which-
much.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Woof, you're rolling 2 dice because you're recklessly diving for the nearest smelly thing. And Grimy, it sounds like you're rolling 1 die for just being a good sprinter.
Yeah, I
But-
rolled a
but do-
2.
but
You're right. Everybody, the distraction is happening, so everybody gets 1 die on
Right.
top of what I just said,
Oh,
right?
good.
So Woof is rolling 3, and Gravelbutt and Grimy are rolling 2.
I rolled a 3 and a 2.
Okay.
I got a 3 and a 1.
Oh, that's a critical failure. Woof, you
Uh,
get to roll 3 dice.
I got a 3, a 2, and a 2 for a total of 7.
No, you don't add them up.
I needed to add him up to make myself feel better though, because
Mhm.
I had 3 dice and I still did not do well.
Yeah.
But I am distracting you
Me
quite
feel better.
ably. Is what is the good news.
You distracted them like they're trying to run looking at you. Like-
I mean, I am a gorgeous.
He's very, very tall and handsome. What do
am-
you want us to do?
He's large.
My mass is overwhelming.
Thank you
His
all for tuning
abs are
in.
rock
This has
hard.
been yeah, no, we're done here. It's, please donate. Save yourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
All right. So I think the way that this plays out, Grimy, you got a 3 and a 1. 3 and a 2. Did somebody get a 3 and a 1?
Gravelbutt got a
Gravel butt.
Got a 3 and a 1. Okay. All right. So here's the way that this plays out. Woof jumps goes like, what's the nearest thing that smells really terrible, and realizes that and jumps into the back of the wagon,
Yes.
which is loaded with manure.
I'm just Biff from Back to the Future, basically.
Gravelbutt turns into a boulder and rolls forward and tries to hide underneath the wagon, but because she is curled into a ball, she rolls forward and goes clean through one of the wheels of the wagon, and the whole thing crashes and falls on top of her. So you take 1 harm from the
Great.
wagon crashing on top of you. And Grimy, you are just about to sprint across when the wagon crashes forward, and the mules that are drawing it are startled by the crash of the wagon, and they kick forward and they knock you over, and you go sprawling, kind of tumbling into the street. Now, Gravelbutt, because you have taken harm, you have to see whether you get squanched or not. So you have 1 harm. You roll a d6, and you need to roll a 2 or higher.
Oh no! But you
Oh,
can
so much pressure.
re-roll.
You could try.
or-
You could
or use your zeal to not die immediately, right?
right. So your options here are: if you feel like this is a big enough roll that you want to re-roll it, you could spend a zeal to do that. Or if you end up blowing this roll and you roll a 1 instead of a 2 through 6, you could spend your zeal to not get squanched and survive.
Do I have to choose to use my zeal before I roll?
I think you could if you're going to re-roll, yes. If
Okay,
you're going to
gotcha.
re-roll, you have to spend zeal. You get 1 re-roll with your zeal.
I think I'm just gonna roll and see what happens.
Yeah.
Sure.
I just feel like in the midst of this gigantic comedy of error, so Acidus is just standing there looking. All of
This
them.
is going great. I don't know why you're nervous. This is exactly how we drew it up.
This was not the plan. Yeah.
Gravelbutt rolled a 1.
Yep.
So
So unless you spend 1 of your zeal, the wagon is going to crush you into pulverized dust and you'll be dead.
I'm gonna spend a zeal.
Okay.
I'm at 3 zeal now.
Yeah.
I don't think Woof could have emotionally handled being in the wagon when Gravelbutt got squished if it
Yeah.
had gone that way.
The good news is
Yeah.
you don't know that it's happening.
Well, Woof does know what's happening because the 2 farmers who are in the wagon start yelling like, monsters, monsters, we're under attack.
Oh, okay. Well.
Ring the alarm, call the watch.
All right. Reroll is.
Huh?
Well, there's a reroll, right? Or oh no, the zeal.
No.
Just covers it.
Yeah, she
Cool.
just spent the zeal to not get squanched. She still has
Got
one
it, got
harm.
it, got it.
Next time she takes harm, she'll have 2. Yeah, I mean it was a good,
Okay.
a decent use of it.
Yeah.
All right, but that's what happens is they start calling for the town watch.
I just realized that I have a perk that could have helped, but I was kind of sprawled out in front of the wagon, so I don't know that it would have been all that much help.
Oh
Well-
yeah, you could have tried to protect Gravel Butt, but
Yeah, but I think the situation made it kind of difficult since I also failed my roll.
How? So this wagon is now damaged. You said.
yeah, the right front wheel is completely cracked off and it's squanched down on top of Gravel Butt is
Yeah.
and it's on top of Gravel Butt, and there is a wriggling,
Yeah.
very smelly knoll in the back of the wagon, and there's 2 very upset farmers.
In the wagon, and there's one in front of me, or there's how many total?
There were 2 riding the the buckboard or whatever on the front of the
Okay.
wagon, so there were 2 of them there.
All right, new plan. We're hijacking this wagon, and I'm going to jump up to the driver's seat and attack the driver and try to toss him out. Gravel Butt, become a wheel.
I'll back him if he goes for the first farmer. I attack the second one, just immediately like, no, heads up.
Minions, time to go.
All right,
Minions
so
assemble.
since Herc took the initiative here, I'm going to let Herc roll to get violent.
Great. What do how many do I roll?
Well, what traits are you bringing to bear on this hapless farmer who's clearly under attack by the forces of fundamental evil?
What traits am I bringing? I don't. I'm a bard, man. I'm an ogre, but
Well,
I'm gonna swing my big meaty unathletic fist. I'm trying to throw this farmer who's hopefully old and light out of the driver's seat and grab the mule reins, and we're going to escape this place.
okay. Oh, by the way, so Gravel Butt, because you failed, because you got a critical failure, you gain experience. So tell me something that you learned from your ordeal here.
Gravel Butt learned wood smashes just as easily as stone.
Okay, so now under experience, write down wood smashes just as easily as stone, and that's a trait that you can use when applicable to make a roll.
Awesome.
All right, so Herc, you got 1 die here. Unless you want to swing your dwarven bassoon at the guy, but it sounds like you're just shoving the dude.
I mean, I'll swing with my dwarven bassoon. That seems like a good weapon, right? Can I do that?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll do that. 4 and a 1.
All right, so 4 is a complication. Choose one of the following. You don't take harm, you deal harm to them, you get them out of the way, or you take something from them. Pick one of those 4.
I get them out of the way.
Okay. All right. You get them out of the way. The farmer has he's got just a regular kind of like utility kind of dagger hunting knife kind of thing that he carries with him, and he draws it and he does stab you, and then you push him off the wagon. So you take 1 harm. Roll to see whether he
Ouch.
squanches you.
Not squanched.
And I protect him to keep him from taking harm.
You're still in the street, right?
Yeah.
What would you do to try and protect him?
So I would probably grab my battered iron shield and kind of like Captain America this bitch and like throw it in between him and the person who's trying to attack him to kind of deflect it.
Uh-huh. Okay. What
I need to do a roll.
What traits are you bringing into play here? Your shield, obviously.
My shield and my protective perk, obviously. When an ally would take harm, you describe how you protect them, and then you make a roll.
Right. That's just a perk, though. It's not a trait.
I'm very enthusiastic. I'm doing this enthusiastically. But I think basically the only thing I'm bringing to this is my shield.
Okay. So roll a die and let's see what happens.
Okay. I rolled a 1.
Okay, so you get up and try to hurl your shield and interpose it between these two things, and instead, it your shield flies forward and it bounces off the forehead of the mule, one of the mules that's standing here, is like strapped to the team, and it rears up and it kicks you. So take a harm and
have
roll
to
roll
roll.
roll to see if you're squanched.
Yep.
I may have come to
I'm
realize.
not squanched.
I've come to
What?
realize why we're not higher in the organization.
You are minions. You
This
are
is
not
going
squanched.
great.
I rolled a 4. I am not
Okay,
squanched.
you're not squanched. All right, good news. Good news. Also tell me, because that was a critical failure, tell me what you learned from this experience and then write it down.
I should not run away from fights.
Oh, I like that one. All
Good.
right.
Well,
Okay, so
sir,
Herc has grabbed one of the farmers, like by the vest or whatever, and thrown that person off of the wagon. Even though Herc got gashed in the ribs.
Ouch.
Sir Estinus, you're going to try and dispatch the other one.
yes. So I have my sundered longsword.
Mhm.
I am a former warrior and still think of myself as such. So when to arms, I'm like, well, tally ho. So is that 1 die or 2 for me?
It's 1 unless you can sell me on one of your other traits. So your traits are all the stuff on the right hand side, right? The talent, the tool, the motivation.
I mean, I still like to impress people. My group is like performing awfully, and I'm supposed to be the leader, so I need to like rally. So I'm like, no, come on, we can salvage this, old people. Let's go.
This is going great. I don't know what you're talking about. This is exactly how we should have done this.
Estinos form, yip yip.
I will give you two dice for that.
All right. I'm glad you did, because that is 2 6s.
Oh, all right. So on a roll of 6, you get to choose 2 things. You don't take harm, you deal harm to them, you get them out of the way, you take something from them.
I don't take harm and I get them out of the way. Like,
All right.
I want to jump and swing with the flat of my sword, where it's
Yep.
basically like I crack this guy like a baseball bat, pow, and hop up on the on the cart.
Okay, great. Yeah, and so you thwack the hapless farmer with the flat of your sword. They go tumbling backward into the manure pile behind them, and then slide out the back. Herc has urged the team to urge Gravelbutt to pick up the wagon, and let's roll.
Make like
Very
a
much
wheel
stand.
and
I
roll.
stand there and point with the sword, like all dramatically, like to the river.
Yeah. Much like the carrion crawler I was just driving, I am now driving another vehicle. I did not realize that I would become baby driver in this episode of Minions, but we can pick up Grimy on the way. Yip yip, and I will like make the mules run.
I actually kind of want to help Gravelbutt out here so that she's not bearing the load of this wagon all by herself. Can we reinforce her or use my shield as kind of like a hubcap or something to kind of give her some extra support here?
Yeah, I love that idea. Okay, so so you're gonna try and help Gravelbutt out, right? So
Yeah.
1 die for Grimy trying to use the shield as a hubcap or some sort of reinforcing kind of like rolling mechanism.
Sweet.
I'd also
Gravel-
like to use my motivation. I'm not in charge, but I should be, because I came up with this really brilliant idea.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you that. So that's 2 dice. Gravelbutt, what do you have that might apply to this particular situation?
So when Gravelbutt hears Herc say that, Gravelbutt's gonna look up, kind of like give him the eye. Gravelbutt, not wheel. Gravelbutt lick Jade if I wheel.
How about we use this? I rolled a 4 and a 1.
Oh, okay. I was still assembling the pool here.
Gotcha.
Oh, cool. Sorry.
Gravelbutt be good wheel.
Yeah. I'll look at Sir Astinus and be like, "Does that sound good to you?"
Well, I feel like it might come back to haunt us, telling that wonderful creature that it can lick jade. But yes, sure, whatever. The gods are coming. Whatever it takes. Come, come, let's go.
Yeah, the
Gravel butt,
Rozzers.
very motivated.
Okay, we're going.
Okay. All
Wolf,
right.
you good back there? Everything okay?
So far we've got a 4 and a 1 in this particular roll. Gravel, but you can roll 1 die and see if you can beat a 4.
I rolled a 4.
Okay. All right. So 4 is your best result because I was going to basically like pool those 3 dice as
Cool.
one kind of action. All right. So I think you're trying to avoid danger here because the city watches or the town watch is going to be coming out in full force if you don't get away. So it's going to cost something. It's going to cost you something in order to succeed at this.
I'm sorry, Gravel, but I think if you just that should help a little bit.
Thank you, Grimy.
Can I? You know what? Never mind. I'll let you keep going.
Well, I'm just trying to think what the consequence here is here that
Right.
would cost you to succeed in order to get away with this wagon.
I mean, I'm happy to be like, hey, no hard feelings, and throw some shiny at them, and hopefully that distracts the guards enough with the money on the ground that we can ride off.
Well, so here's the choice I'm going to give. Who am I going to give this to? Here's the choice I'm going to give Grimy.
Okay.
Gravelbutt's skin is made out of stone, so that's not a big deal for Gravelbutt to kind of hang on to your shield and just roll around and kind of like try and hold the wagon up. But because you're down there helping, there's going to be like a lot of bumping and jarring, right? So the choice I'm going to give you is either you can take an additional harm and see if you get squanched by the violent motion of the wagon, or you can kind of like flip up into the wagon, but because Gravelbutt is so heavy, you're going to leave a very distinctive trail behind you wherever you take this wagon. So I'm going to give you a tough choice between, do you want to be able to like have the
It is my job to protect my friends. I will stay down there with Gravelbutt and take the extra harm.
All right, roll to see if you get squanched.
Okay. I rolled a 6.
All right, you have 2 harm, but you are not squanched. Boy, I keep trying to kill people, and it's just not working. All right,
Hey,
it's early.
it's early, exactly.
It's early.
I
All right.
learned that it's better to work as a team, though I should still be the leader, than it is to work solo.
It's too bad that we weren't able to get any things at the places that we were at. But the good news is that we are on our way to the Temple of Fundamental Evil to get the thing that we are going to go get. Yes.
It's true. It's true. All right. So you ride your wagon down along the river for a few miles and then cut across or whatever it is that you decide to do, whether you decide to abandon the wagon and walk or if you just want to take the wagon. You're not going to be easily tracked because Grimy decided to take the harm and act as the shock absorber for this gravel butt powered conveyance.
How are you feeling down there, team? I will say when we reach the turning point from south to east.
I could use a drink.
We can stop. We'll stop at the river here, and we'll. I mean, we
I
can
mean,
walk.
like a drink.
Oh, I'll look around the Conestoga wagon. Did either of the farmers have a little bit to wet the whistle sitting in there?
It's a good question. You do notice that there's a little brown jug sitting underneath the seat.
Okay. Well, this is a good stopping point. We can take a brief brunch break. I found this little brown jug here. Perhaps this will be to your liking.
Yes, please.
I think we're all overlooking the most important thing about all of this is I'm very much standing on the front of the wagon while we're rolling here. That Wolf quite successfully got into the back of the wagon and hid themselves very effectively. Good job, Wolf. Good job.
That was extremely good. That is why I was like, Wolf has the right idea. It's time to just take the wagon and go.
You
I was
smell
afraid-
even worse than I do. It's fantastic.
I imagine that like the manure is so densely packed that when Woof dove in there, like she's kind of stuck, like how you would need help being pulled out of the sand when you get buried in the sand.
Oh,
So like her front arms aren't like this, but she's completely covered with her head popping out. And when they say she did a good job, her tail just pops out of the manure in the back and starts slapping manure around like this.
Well, Wolf did a good job.
Way
Wolf-
to cover our scent. Good,
Wolf-
good,
Wolf-
good.
Wolf did great job. 13 out of 10.
Could someone just pour some of that into my mouth since I seem to be a little stuck here, though?
Yeah, we can
Well, we
also.
could just get you out.
Yeah, we could dip you in the creek if you want to shake it all off.
Oh, that too. That sounds good.
But
Gravel
you smell
butt.
so good.
Gravel butt. How are you doing? Do you think that we should keep taking the wagon with the gravel butt wheel, or should we walk the rest of the way?
Gravel butt, like walking.
Okay. I appreciate you being the fourth wheel for so long and helping us to escape. I apologize.
You were amazing, Gravel Butt.
Absolutely.
Yes, you did an excellent job of replacing the wheel that you yourself broke, but you performed admirably, yes.
And now you get to lick the Jade Boss.
That's true.
Yeah,
dude.
Is
That's
the
right.
opposite of what happens. No, that is not. That is why you are not in charge, Grammy. No.
That was the deal we made with Gravel Butt. And
It
this
is not.
leader-
We said
this
lick
deal.
jade. We did not say vase. That's the nuance, my good goblin. The details is where the fiends live, are in the details.
Yes, of course. That is exactly what we are going to do. And then when Sir Aston is distracted, I will turn and be like, "So we're going to kill him later, right? Like that's what we're going to do."
For sure.
Yeah, okay.
Definitely.
Because that's
Yeah.
what I thought we were going
Thank
to.
you. I'm glad we're on the same page here. You look great, by the way.
I
Oh.
hope you plan murders better than you run away.
I
All
don't
right.
do either particularly well, actually, but yeah.
So, so without further complications, you set out to the Temple of Fundamental Evil. We're going to take just a 5-minute break to let everybody quick use the restroom or refresh their drink, and I'll stay here and chat a little bit more about what we've got going on at the event here. But let's let our cast kind of refresh themselves briefly, and we'll pick up the adventure at the temple in 5 minutes.
Great. Yay.
So again, everyone, my name is Tom Lommel. I have run many sessions of D&D and whatnot here on the Saving Throw Show. The game we're playing today is called Actually, I've got the book here. What am I doing? It's called For the Dungeon. It's available on Itch. If you are so inclined, I'm sure you can get it on Drive-Thru RPG too. It's a very lightweight rule system, I think, as you can tell. I think it's interesting because it's kind of like a very stripped down version of kind of like a combination between Fate and Blades in the Dark, if you've ever played either of those games. So the traits thing works sort of like Fate, where it's very open-ended, kind of like flexible. You can just define things about your character, a talent that they have, a tool that or something that they have with them, and then some sort of motivation that drives them. And those are the 3 things that you generally use to create your dice pool. And then the Blades in the Dark part of it for me is kind of you assemble your pool and you're looking for a success out of that dice pool. So I really like the mechanics of it, and I think it's certainly been entertaining so far from my point of view. The reason
I think
we're
it's
all
been entertaining too, Tom.
Dom, you like it too?
I'm here to keep you company while everyone has abandoned.
I
They've
appreciate
run
that.
away.
I do not have the Twitch window open, so I don't know. I haven't been watching chat or anything like that. But I do want to say that we've raised so far over $750 by my count in the hour and a half that we've been on. So
Yeah.
thank you so much. That's really, I know times are tough, and it's really touching for me personally to be able to. I mean, I guess in a way I directly benefit from that generosity in terms of like, I can't make that kind of donation myself to the Alzheimer's Association. And so to be able to leverage my talent and passion and marry it to your appreciation, whether that's just your viewership, spreading the word on social media, or your actual dollars. Like that's where together we're all bigger than we are individually, right?
Yeah.
I've told the story before in years past, but my grandmother suffered from Alzheimer's, and she ended up getting it sort of at a critical moment in her life, where we discovered there was a whole new side to our family that we had no idea about, that she had kept hidden for over 60 years.
Mm.
And unfortunately, like a lot of details about what was happening to her when she was a young person, that started all this stuff, and kind of like what decisions she made to do these things. Like all of that stuff was just lost because she lost her memory, and she would get emotional, but she couldn't really, like, you couldn't ever really trust anything that she was saying. And so,
Mhm.
in a lot of ways, this is a disease that steals people from you twice, right? Their personality succumbs, and then their body succumbs.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate all of your support for this cause. Also,
Yeah.
you get to see my messy office.
That's great. No, your messy office is awesome. No, Megan
I've
and
got
I
this
were.
giant bag of like electronics back here that every time I go on stream, I'm like, that thing just sticks out like a weird Halloween, like a Best Buy pumpkin. Anyway.
Megan and I were just chatting about the sort of connection and how you do lose people twice, and just sort of the toll it takes on those who care for people who are the carers, the ones who take care of those who suffer from um, Alzheimer's. But yeah, it's pretty rough. But I will switch over to a brighter note. We are, as DJ Regular says, we are $19 away from unlocking the next story tier. So yes, I want to say thank you so much to everyone who has tipped thus far. I think that we actually passed that story tier because we got a very generous donation come in. Megan will let me know if we have surpassed it though. And we are well on our way. We are over halfway, our halfway point for what we wanted to raise this time, and I am overjoyed that we made it. I know how hard it is right now, and I'm thoroughly appreciative to all of you who have been able to support and uh, this very important cause that is near and dear to all of our hearts here at Saving Throw. So we did, yes, thank you. We did surpass that next goal. So the next goal is unlocked. I'll send that to you, Tom. But
Wow.
Okay.
yes, thank you very much for surpassing that goal. So onwards to the next goal. We have had luck before doing a $5 donation hype train, $5 dono hype train. So if you are all interested, if you've got $5, the cost of less than the cost of a cup of coffee now. um, Go ahead, $5 to the Alzheimer's Association. Just to clarify, bits and tips, alas, do not go to the Alzheimer's Association. Those go to the channels. And while I am appreciative of the support of the channel, today is not a day for that. Today is a day to support the Alzheimer's Association. So please do send your donations. That way we can track it via our setup here, and it's greatly appreciated. So yeah, let's get a hype train going and kick it back to the action. Take it away, Tom.
All right. Very good. So, the ruins of the temple's outer works appear as dark and overgrown mounds of gray rubble and blackish weeds. Skulls and bones of humans and humanoids gleam white here and there amidst the weeds. A stump of a tower juts up from the northeast corner of the shattered compound. The temple itself stands in the center, its arching form enveloped with sickly vegetation. Inside the temple, the walls are plastered with scenes of fundamental evil, disgusting acts, killing, torture, enslavement, robbery, thievery, and other unspeakable things. Dim light filters through the stained glass windows, and a large altar of pinkish white marble stands at the far end of the temple. Behind it, 2 broken wooden doors appear to give entrance to the dungeons beyond.
Wow, this is beautiful.
This place is great.
They should
Why are we working for Vecna when we could be working here?
Right? We should see if Nerzel Blackthorn will just hire us.
I mean, this is fantastic.
Man,
Talk about perks.
they should have sent a poet. Wait,
They
they did send a
did.
poet. It is me.
You are the poet.
I will have to write about this at some point.
Gravel, do you smell any good rock?
Gravel smells lots of good rocks. Gravel wants to stay.
I would like to immediately put my nose to the ground and look for a rock to bring back to Gravel Butt.
All right. Why don't you roll for that, even though it doesn't seem like something that should be rolled for. You got your nose, so that's a D6. That's 1d6. I don't know if there's something else that you want to apply to this. Oh, you know, I could see we got to please everyone we meet, even strangers. You're trying to please your friend, so I could be sold on that.
Gravel Butt immediately expressed interest in the rocks, so Wolf was like, way to make Gravel Butt happy. Okay, rock, got it. And just, like, didn't think twice about it.
Okay, so you're going to go for reckless too? All right.
I would like, at this point, while she's doing that, I kind of want to start trying to figure out what the filthiest place in this castle is.
Okay.
I'm rolling 2, right?
You're rolling 3, I think, because you're trying to please your friend.
Oh,
right?
okay.
That your motivation is we got to please everyone we meet, even strangers.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. I have a 4, a 4, and a 2.
Okay. So you put your nose down, you're like, oh, there's a good one. There's a good one over here. And you kind of go over by the altar, and then you kind of like start to circle around the altar, and all of a sudden your nose hits this big, like massive foot, like wet dog nose right into a foot that's probably like 18, 20 inches long, just a bare foot. And all of a sudden you hear is like, whoa, 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 whoa. And then you hear another voice is like, oh yeah, that's disgusting. And sleeping in the far end of the chapel here, suddenly a huge 2-headed giant stands up. Whoa. Oh, new recruits, right? Oh,
Right.
please, Vaughn. These don't look like proper recruits. They look like scrub minions to me.
Oh, I know this trick. There's one of you always tell the truth and the other one always lies. I finally figured this one out, yes.
What are you talking about? I'm not familiar.
Oh, see, that means that is false. See, whichever question you pose, the answer's always a lie. We are here looking for some dwarf named Frethos.
Oh, Fratos, right? Yeah. Earth Temple, right? Yeah. Bald dwarf, a lot of tattoos on his
Kratos.
head.
That's the guy. Where is he?
Well, might be able to tell you, but I'm here to guard the temple from intruders like you. right, Zelikar? Yes, high five.
Well, but you just said it yourself. We're not intruders, we're new recruits. So technically you're doing your job right. Good job, you. I'm so proud of you.
You don't understand. We are the test of new recruits. If you cannot defeat us, then you are not clearly worthy of the temple's service.
Can I just bribe you instead, though? I
Well,
mean, pay you for entry is what I
well-
meant to say.
What would you bribe us with?
I will look in my pockets and I have 7 shiny, and I'll say, I have 3 shiny.
Yeah, but how can they divide that evenly? That's just cruel.
Well,
You're
it's-
right,
okay,
you're right, you're
so
right. I have 2
Zelikar,
shiny.
you
Yeah,
get
it's too shiny.
would we bite it? where can we spend money around here?
Well, I'm sure you have, and I'm trying to distract them.
D-
And
yeah.
next to me, I'm like waving my hand to get everybody to keep going. And I'll be like, well, there's a nearby town up in that direction. And if you walk about 4 miles to the creek and then 6 miles up, there's a cart waiting for it. And I'm trying to make them look away from the rest of my party.
I say, oh, I get it, everyone. Let's sneak inside. That's the plan.
Let's see if this distraction works or not. So, what are you bringing to the table to?
Well, I am
What traits
distracting,
what
which
traits
is
do you have?
my, yeah,
That's a perk. That's not
that's
a trait.
my perk, not my trait.
No.
Does not look like I am using any of my traits.
Okay. So you roll a single die, but if you get a 6, it counts as a 4 or a 5.
I got a 4.
Okay. So you are distracting them for a short amount of time. They're going to retaliate when you're done kind of like juggling your coins.
Sure.
All right. So everybody else wants to just sort of like scramble past them. Is that the plan?
Sure.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But he's distracting, and I said it's the plan. So is that 2 dice?
Let's. What's the best way to do this? I'll do 2 dice for the whole group. So one person rolls for all 4 of you, and whatever you get, that's what applies to all 4.
I nominate Woof. Woof. Woof is produced every time. I believe in you, Woof.
Oh, Woof's feeling the pressure. I'm rolling 2, right?
Yes.
Okay, can we get some fingers crossed, y'all? We got we got a 5 and a 2.
Okay.
Good.
All right. So
Not terrible.
this is an avoid danger roll. So it's going to cost you something to pull it off. Okay, so here's what happens.
Okay.
Everybody has to roll a d6, and you lose that many shiny because you're also throwing coins about, and the Etten starts chasing the coins.
I lose 3 shiny, like I thought I was going to.
You lose 1.
I lose 2.
Well, now I roll well. I lose 5.
2.
All right, very good. Okay, so you have managed to successfully circumvent the Vone and Zelakar, the 2-headed giant who guards the entrance to the Temple of Fundamental Evil.
Do I get past them too?
Oh no, you don't, because you didn't roll high enough, right? So
Well, I rolled a
4 or 5. So but you're trying to.
I wanted to get them in, and then I'll handle me doing my thing later.
Yeah, you distracted the Etten for a short amount of time. They retaliate when your time is up. So the rest of the party successfully got by, and then once they kind of pick up all the coins, they're like, Vone is like, you got more coins. And Zelakar says, yes, I bet they're on his insides.
Oh no, they are definitely not on my insides.
Only one way to find out. Do your thing, Vone. Oh, Vone gets to do his thing.
What is the thing you do? Actually, I don't want to find out, and I will run.
Okay, roll. What are you applying to this?
I did say the plan was to run.
Right. This one, I actually can apply something because I must, at all costs, protect my meticulously groomed good looks. My face is my meal ticket.
That's true. Very good. All right.
So this time I get to roll 2?
Sure. You're trying to avoid danger at this point.
3 and a 4.
A 3 and a 4. Okay. Lose another d6 worth of shiny. They knew you were.
Yeah.
They knew you were holding out.
All right. I have no shiny anymore.
All right. Well, good news. Thanks to the generosity of the chat, you all have more zeal.
Yeah.
So
Woo! Thank you, chat.
you each get to roll a d6, and you gain that many additional zeal.
Wow. I
Yeah.
get 2 zeal.
4. Nice.
I
2.
6.
Oh my god. Gravel butt is going to be impossible to kill.
Gravel butt's the tank. We knew that.
Wolf coming in clutch, an extra 5.
Wow. All right. Okay.
Of course, the bard is going to have the fewest hit points. So
Yeah, I have no
I mean,
money
that
though,
tracks.
so
I am also technically a tank, but you know.
right.
All right. Very good. So you come into you descend down several flights of the dungeon. You were told that this was on level 3, right?
Yeah.
And when you get to level 3, you can see that there's essentially sort of like one of those weird kind of like shaped like an inverted like home plate in a baseball, like a kind of like a not pentagonal kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
So it's a rectangle, but two of the sides are sort of like trapezoids, right?
Right.
And there are all of these okay, so in front of you there's a huge iron grate, right? There's a giant portcullis that looks incredibly sturdy and very difficult to that would be very difficult to lift or to bend or break. But the thing that kind of gets you is the stench down here is terrible. It is just like thick with mud and rot and mildew and manure and goodness knows what.
Sounds great to me.
And there are piles of this stuff kind of just like littering all of the corners. So like the main area that you're sort of walking through, it's about ankle deep and it goes up to kind of hip deep in the corners. But you stop for a moment and you look around. And Grimy is absolutely enchanted with this. Like, oh, okay, this, you know, this is my world. Like filth is I'm in my home territory.
Yep.
And Grimy, as you start looking around, you realize that there's a spot in the wall where it looks like there's kind of like some bubbles coming up. And you're like, that doesn't kind of seem right. And you scrape away, like you shovel back some of this muck, and you find under the wooden flagstones there's a trap door.
I found something. I found something over here. Look. It's a trap door.
Well played, my good goblin. I knew your proclivity for filth would come in handy eventually.
Well, you know, one of us has to be right.
Now, when
I
you
was
say,
trying to be egalitarian by saying you finally did something correct, but that's true. Normally, it's just me.
Except for the fact that I've been correct for most of this journey. I'm just saying.
I thought you were French, not egalitarian.
Well, first of all, I identify as a citizen of the world, you see. I don't limit myself to any
Sure.
one locale.
Fair. That is,
Yes.
yes, you're vagabond roustabout. Now, when you say trap door, is it a door that is trapped?
I mean, that part I don't know. I guess I could look and see.
Okay.
Good idea.
I
These
should probably stand back. I'm not going to stand back. I should
mean-
probably stand back. But I'm
All
gonna
right.
lean in.
Okay, get.
I'm gonna step
All right,
back.
big ogre face, move, get
But
back.
I want to see if it is trapped though.
Wolf, do you think you can help me out here? You have a good nose. Maybe you can smell the trap.
Well, Wolf can try, but I don't know how stinky the trap's gonna be.
And Wolf's just gonna kind of like try and bury her little nose right towards. I don't know if there's like a wide gap or like if the boards are really close together or what, but she's gonna kind of like get some funky angles going and.
I would like to help by very carefully observing. I would like to do a look around the trap door.
Okay.
The trapdoor is not like a trapped trapdoor.
And I just want to stand there and take whatever damage there is if it is trapped.
Oh my god. Herc!
I'm just super curious about this trap door, though.
You're gonna get me killed. I have to protect you if it does explode.
All right. So somebody's rolling 2 dice. I think it's either Woof or Grimy. You tell me.
I mean,
Feeling lucky?
my dice have been, but we'll see how it goes. I'll roll the 2. I'll do it.
Believe in you.
Fucking hell!
Oh no.
I rolled a critical failure.
Oh no.
Excellent leadership, Grimy. Keep at it.
I'm gonna kill him.
All right.
I rolled a 2 and a 1.
Wow. All right. That's
yeah,
terrible.
It's really, really bad. My
Okay.
dice have just not been kind to me
Well.
today.
So the 3 of you are sort of like all kind of clustered around this trap door, right? And as you kind of like lean around, you realize that there's a piece of mud that you thought was just sort of like a thin layer covering the top of the trap door. And then all of a sudden this big rectangle of it like falls through. And another
that's-
rectangle of it falls through.
That's
And a
probably good, right?
and a third rectangle of it kind of falls through, and you realize that it wasn't like a flat surface. It's a set of iron bars. There was like a grate there. And then it like as you stare down at it, you see a giant globular eye kind of like look up and stare right back at you. And out of the mud next to you, a giant tentacle like whacks Grimy and wraps Grimy up and begins to squeeze. So you take a harm. Roll to see if you get squanched by the.
3 harm already. You
Yes,
guys.
you got to roll a 4 or higher.
Don't look, Gravel Butt. It's awful.
I rolled a 2. I would like to spend a zeal to not get squanched.
Okay. All right. So this horrible, weird kind of paddle-shaped tentacle grasper thing comes out of the mud, picks up Grimy, whacks Grimy against the side of the wall here. Grimy gives a horrible kind of like beleaguered squeal, but is still alive as another paddle comes up out of the mud on either side, and this
Help!
giant kind of wedge-shaped creature with this huge yellow fanged maw rises up out of the tunnel below.
Help! Help me!
Is the trap door unlocked?
Yeah, the trap door is actually like it turns out that it was that the wood surrounding it,
Yeah.
it was rotten, so the whole thing kind of just bursts upward
Oh.
as the thing comes up out underneath of it. Like it looks like most of it was resting on this creature.
Oh,
So
I
it's
would
climbing up from underneath you.
yikes.
I would like to just immediately dive into it with my axe. Like, Woof hears the phrase "help me" and is like, "Chance to prove myself! Save Grimy! Wah!" and just goes for it.
All right. So it sounds like reckless, and you're using your axe. So that's 2 dice, unless there's something else that you want to apply for this.
I think reckless and really big axe are probably the
All right.
probably what's happening here.
Well, let's roll it.
Okay.
Oh, also before I forget, Grimy, what did you learn from your critical failure?
Definitely make sure that everybody stays back.
Okay, write that down. You get to use that as a trait if you want to at any time.
I rolled a 4 and a 2.
All right. And you're trying to get violent, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. So on a 4 or 5, choose one of the following. You do not take harm. You deal harm. You get the creature out of the way. You take something from the creature.
When for you take something from them, can it be taking
Grimy?
Grimy out of their
Yes.
clutches? Okay, yeah,
Yes.
that's what I would like for Woof to do.
Okay, you free Grimy. All right, so I think the way that this plays out is you dive for Grimy with your axe out and you slice the tentacle off, right?
Oh.
And And it kind of like lets Grimy go, and Grimy plops unceremoniously into the mud, face down.
Sorry, Grimy.
Um, and
You saved my life. What a good dog.
and for a moment you like are so proud of yourself, and then the kind of like weird end of the tentacle just kind of like whips around, and it whips back into the mud where the flat kind of like quivering pad of it is, and the tentacle arm and the pad reattach, and they come back and slap you.
I would like to protect Wolf.
All right, what are you doing to protect Wolf?
So they plop face down they pull their head out of the mud and go, thanks, what a good no, and they like kind of run and sort of like try to shove Wolf out of the way.
Okay. All right. So it sounds like you're running. You're not
Yes,
using your
terrific
shield?
sprint. I'm not using my shield. I guess actually using my shield to kind of like shield myself against the incoming impact of this tentacle. Should I succeed, is probably what they're doing. Is like they're running with behind their shield and they're going to bump Wolf out of the way. So yes, I'm using my shield and I'm running. So
Okay, great. So that's 2 dice to try to protect Wolf from that harm.
all right, I rolled a 5 and a 2.
Okay. On a 5, you take the harm instead of them.
Yep. That
Okay.
puts me at 4 harm now.
Okay, let's see if you get squanched.
I probably will have to spend a zeal.
Yeah.
Just an ounce of
I rolled a
prevention.
6.
Nice.
I rolled a 6.
Nice.
Yay!
Another day.
Nice. All right. So, Wolf. So I think a great way for this to play out is like as you see the stump of the tentacle and the pad trying to like connect back together and get ready to attack Wolf, you just run forward and and place your shield between the two of them, and they grasp and they try to like connect, but your shield is in between them, and then the paddle kind of hand thing kind of like finally like withers and dies because it doesn't have enough circulation.
Everyone
But
go quickly, run.
The creature itself is still alive.
I'm going to save yourselves. I will calm the beast with my beautiful singing. And I will turn and I will say, I'd like to be under the sea in an octopus's garden in the shade.
Do, do,
He'd let us in,
do, do.
know where we've have been
Yeah, all the time.
in his octopus's
yeah.
garden in the shade, and hopefully that will give enough time
Doobie-doobie-doo.
for all of my allies to move into the temple.
Okay.
I don't know
Alright.
if this is helpful, but Wolf is trying to assist by pretending that she likes this. I'm so sorry, but half.
It's beautiful music. I don't
Beautiful
know what you're
music, the
talking
beautiful
about.
music. Wolf is loving the beautiful music, and she was vibing and trying to provide backup.
Gravelbutt
Okay.
was also like kind of like drumming on her shoulders to this,
Nice.
Yeah, we're all doing kind
trying
of
to
a
go with the
groove
beat,
as
whatever that might be.
Trying to calm this terrible beastie.
we're grooving as we sneak away.
While they're doing this and he's singing, I very much as loud as I can. I'm like, Lord Nursel Blackthorn, I'm Sir Astinus Previer. I've come to offer my services. I'd hate to destroy your beast here in the entrance to your beautiful establishment. Where might we come and speak with you? I would hate for my brave companions here to wreak too much chaos that's intended to destroy adventurers. Might we discuss this over a nice brandy? We could talk about the history of these lands. I would love some intelligent conversation. I am incredibly well read, you know.
And incredibly verbose.
So I am incredibly well read, and I do have a need to impress civilized people. So I am trying to get the attention of someone intelligent so that we don't have to fight through all the traps that we're not supposed to be fighting through.
All right. So we've got a distraction going on so that some of the party can slip past this thing,
Mhm.
and I assume kind of go down the passageway in the behind the secret door,
Yeah,
or
I mean, I assume that whatever this thing was protecting, there's something behind it. I'm
Yeah.
trying to just get. We have a goal in mind,
Yep.
and killing this calamari monster isn't on it. So
Mhm.
I'm just trying to get past this thing, or
Okay.
get them past this thing.
All right. So why don't you roll your distraction?
Okay. And my talent is that I'm crafting a killer hook.
That's right. That's
And
right.
my tool is an ornate dwarven bassoon, although I was singing.
Yeah.
So I guess this one isn't using that.
I'll, I'm sure I'm sure you can figure out a way to incorporate your bassoon into this.
I'll tap it on the stones as I'd
Soon
like
solo.
to be. Yeah, okay. Ooh, 6 and a 4.
Oh, okay. Well, you got a 6, right? So
Yes.
so you're distracting. You all the thing pays attention to you. So in which case, the Wolf and Gravelbutt and Grimy kind of like can just casually kind of like sneak down the passageway beyond. Sir Estinus, you're
Oh,
address.
I am going. I'm just
Right.
yelling while I'm doing it.
okay.
Like, oh, hello. Where might we
Okay.
find you, sir? You
Okay.
know? Yeah.
All right. All right. So let's.
Quite a terrible system if you have to murder and cavort your way just to talk to the boss. Then you're undefended for the next match.
All right. So let's have Herc. Why don't you try and you've got this thing distracted.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna have to kind of like outpace it, run away from it, put it
I'm
opposite.
gonna try and do the what's the frog from the WB that has the hat that's like trying to dance off the stage as I go away?
Yeah.
Like,
What's his
and
face?
and then I'm off the stage and it doesn't see me anymore.
All right. I think this is more of a don't get caught kind of thing.
Sure.
Was it Mortimer J. Frog or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. So that is what I'd like to do. I got to protect my meticulously groomed looks. They're my meal ticket, and I'm crafting the killer hook still. I'm still performing. So still not using my bassoon this time, but there's another 6 and a 1. So 6 and 1.
All right. Okay. So you don't get caught, right? So you manage to kind of like give yourself a graceful exit, and this huge, weirdly kind of like bulky creature begins to try and clap like its tentacles together, but one of them has been been cut off.
Right.
So it gives this round of applause that spatters the kind of the whole area, like it spatters filth into its own giant eye, and then it's like, oh, ah, and while it's temporarily blinded with enthusiasm, you manage to slink down the passageway.
Tip your waitress. Try the veal.
That was great, Herc.
Thank you.
You really got
Thank
away
you
with
very
words.
much. Tips are appreciated.
Did you come up with that on your own?
I did come up with that on my own. I'm only good
Grimy's
at,
gonna flip him a
things.
shiny.
Oh, I got the tip. That is so nice of you. You know, being an artist with a side hustle is not very easy. I'm hoping that this, working as a minion is not what I want to be doing for the rest of my life. I want to, this is just to make ends meet. I've moved out to the dungeon in order to become an artist and pursue my passions.
We believe in following your dreams, my man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, at least I do. I can't speak for Sir Astinus.
I mean, I think that Sir Astinus is going to... we're all sort of following our dreams in one way, shape, or form.
Well, currently, Sir Astinus is following his to whoever it is that runs the joint. He won't stop talking. He's still talking.
Point.
You hear him? He's still talking, trying to get this guy's attention.
We're all here for a reason, and Sir Astinus is here to talk incessantly.
And Grimy's here to block with their face. Yes, I'm just trying to complete the mission. Also, Goblin, put the shield up like this, all right? Look at you. You're all busted up.
I look great. I feel great too.
That is a lie.
So you emerge from this secret passage into a large central chamber, and in the center of this room, occupying a 20-foot square area, you see a pyramid of hard-packed dirt that's about 6 feet tall, and it has a flat top. There are stone steps that are set into each face of the pyramid, and atop the pyramid is a stone column that has a pair of bronze manacles dangling from bolted rings attached to it. And at the base of the column is a bronze box. And as you've been approaching, you know, Sir Estinus has been calling out for anyone who's in charge, please, anyone.
I'd like to speak to the manager.
And as you emerge into this cavern, you're because it does definitely looks like a cavern with this one particularly like worked feature in the middle of it, right? You hear from the other end of the cavern, you hear this weird, almost kind of like pistons turning, a puttering kind of noise, kind of a and at the other end, like behind the strange pyramid with the sacrificial column attached to it, you can see floating into view is a small zeppelin that has a very fancifully colored wooden pilot's box in it, and it's got all kinds of tubes and pipes coming around the outside of it, and there's a couple of different wheels, and you see a little gnome who appears to be like hand cranking, just furiously hand cranking either side of the thing. And it just comes floating into the cavern, and it lands next to you.
Oh, that's delightful. Hello, tiny person.
Really impressive. Wow.
Hey, everybody. My name is Franklin P. Terwilliger, and welcome to my fancy mobile magic shop. I am doing a tour of all the big dungeons, Keep of the Borderlands, Claude von Barovich's castle, the Lost Caverns of Tsojacantha. Today happens to be the Temple of Fundamental Evil.
Wow, that is impressive.
I have goods
do.
for sale.
Certainly get around.
Do you have any decent rocks in there?
Well, let me run down the list for you. Let me run down the list for you.
No, there's an inventory. Splendid.
So I got a couple minor items here. Well, more than a couple, actually, I gotta tell you. I got a tornado jug. You throw it. When it breaks, it makes a little, just like a little 5-foot tall tornado. I got a string of pearls. You throw it, and when the pearls hit the ground, it makes enchanting music that fills the air, makes people want to dance. I got a flute of courage. You blow it, and it inspires bravery. It only works one time when you blow it, but it packs quite a punch, you know. Or for if you have recalcitrant friends, let's just put it that way. That's just a generous way to put it. Dust to sneezing, pretty self-explanatory. A boom scroll, the way that works is you put it down someplace, and then you say the command word, which is boom, and it explodes. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Leaf of falling. You pin that to your clothes, and if you fall off of something, the leaf will save you. But then it crumbles to dust as soon as you touch the ground again. A quill of forgery. You give it a command, and then it can forge any document that you can think of. Potion of quick slicker. It lets you you drink that, and your tongue gets coated in silver, and you can convince people of stuff that they wouldn't normally be convinced about. Not me oil. This is the oil you pour over. It's a liquid disguise. And finally, flubber. I think we're all familiar.
Those all
Shouldn't
sound
happen to have
very
anything that like
amazing.
heals wounds, would ya?
Oh, here's the thing. I try and stock as much stuff as I can, and that's the first stuff to go.
Yeah,
Can you
all the
believe it?
adventurers,
That's good.
all the adventurers buy up all of those healing potions immediately.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the steading of the hill giant chief, but whoever's over there just like cleaned me out.
Oh, that's
Oh.
good intel to know about.
Yeah.
Do you have like a membership deal with our union? We have our card from Castle Bloodgutter, Fecna.
Oh, you work for Fecna.
Yeah, we
Well, then let me
are,
show you my special inventory.
Ooh,
And he opens
hey,
up another cabinet.
nice.
And he goes, well, now back here, I got a floating boat. I mean,
Oh.
that doesn't sound like a lot, right? Here's the thing. It always floats 3 feet off the ground.
But ground is best.
Well, yes, that is true. What else is there?
There's an earring of protection that helps you avoid danger. A cubic yard, it's a cube, and then it'll hold like a yard of whatever you touch it to, like a yard of liquid, or like, I don't know, if you had a bunch of like rocks that you shaped up into a yard, you could put rocks in there. Well, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
a wand of wild magic. I mean, take your chances. A lens of seeing lets you see things better. A bubble pipe. Not bad, huh? Shovel of digging could be handy. I mean, I don't know what you got yourselves into here.
Shovel of digging sounds like up your alley.
Hinge of squeaking would open any door, but it makes a little noise. A pole of levitation, right? So you use that, and what you do is you hook it to yourself, and then you pull, and it pulls you up. And finally, a blanket fort.
Okay. Wait, how much for the blanket fort?
Let me double check my price list here. Where is it?
I am not
four shiny.
Oh.
Just one moment, Wolf. I hate to say, I assure you, I shan't buy the blanket fort out from under you. I have a query here, my good gnome. The potion of the silver tongue brothers. What sorts of thing could a person be convinced to do? Like, could they be convinced to do something that is against their own self-interest?
I mean, I suppose if they don't realize it's against their own self-interest.
Cool. How much is that potion?
2 shiny.
I would like it. And I hand him the 2 shiny.
Okay.
Does he give it to me?
Oh, yeah.
I drink it. Give them all whatever they want.
You're my hero, Sir Astonus.
Okay.
You are the best dog, Wolf.
Oh.
And he looks around, he's like, hey, I'm willing to sell you whatever you want.
Give was the command, my good man. Otherwise, this potion, I want to return it.
Mm-hmm. So I think this is
Wow.
It's a good. I think it's probably a cunning ploy. So why don't you tell me what traits you're using? You're obviously using the potion. That's one thing.
See, I'm using magic. Let's see. That's there's the potion. He does seem like fairly well traveled and things, so I want to impress him. Since I'm incredibly well read, I'm going to start giving factoids about all the places he says he's been. I'm all like, as you know, you said you've been to the castle of Claude von Berovich, and of course, anyone who can make it to there must be incredibly well supplied and well informed, and you understand the tremendous risks and challenges that lay ahead for all of us here. And once we survive, we will go forth and tell everyone that you were instrumental in our victory. Perhaps we could even get you a exclusive deal with Fecna Bright Eyes.
Yeah.
You know he's going to be ruling the world soon and will need a master of coin.
I think that's called paying with exposure.
You can- if you have a
Esther does it all
business,
the time.
if you have a business card, we would certainly take it to our handler.
We'll signal boost, as it were, like and share.
All right. That sounds like 2 dice to me. Is what I've got. Like you're using your well-read knowledge of the world.
And I want to impress him, and I got the potion. Because me impressing people is one of the things on the right-hand side.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So 3 dice.
Hey.
Vecna has hundreds of messenger birds with which to retweet your brand.
That is a 6 and 2 1s. I don't know how that works out.
It's a 6. So
Yeah, it's a 6.
you temporarily create a new scene trait. So I don't think I can give you, like, he's not going to give you all of this stuff for free, but he's going to give you a discount. So the minor items will only cost 1 shiny, and the major items will only cost 3.
Thank goodness. I had no shiny, and then I got tipped 1 shiny for my lovely song, so I can buy 1 thing. I'm so happy.
Well, I have 4 more shiny, so if somebody really wants something that they can't afford, I can hook somebody up. Okay.
I would like the pole thing that pulls you, the pole up or thing that you had. What was it called?
It's a pole of levitation.
The pole, that one. I would like the pole of levitation, please.
And you have 1 shiny, so you're going to need 2 more from somebody.
Oh, that one.
I'll give him 2.
Be expensive. Oh, thank you so much, Sir Aestinus.
There were so many things on this list that I've kind of lost track of what.
I'm going to put them in the chat so that you can look at them.
Thank you. You're the best.
I am the best.
Appreciate you.
I'm good with my pole.
I have no shinies.
Yes, but we want that blanket fort. I mean, in general, just like as a thing the group wants. I think we want the blanket fort.
I'll buy Wolf the blanket for it, but then I will be out of shiny.
Thank you, Sir Aestinus.
Yes, you are the best dog.
Gravel butt. I know that you did not want the boat, but there were lots of great things here. The yard was.
Do you still have the liquid silver?
Let me check on that. Yes, he has 1 more potion of the quick slicker.
I want quick silver. Silver soda.
Silver soda, yes.
I think I would like that shovel of digging.
It's yours.
How much?
3.
Here. And I give him the last 3 shiny I have.
Great. Hopefully we will run into you again after we've gone through this dungeon. Is this what it's like being an adventurer? This is weird. Living paycheck to paycheck. I don't enjoy this very much. I much prefer sometimes I of course want to one day become a famous bard, but in the meantime you need to get your side hustle on. And being a minion is a stable job with dental. It's very
dental
good.
is very important for
work.
a goblin. And for a rock monster. See those beautiful pearly whites on Gravel Butt?
They are actual
Gravel like
pearls.
flexes and also like does kawaii eyes at the same time.
Did you have that business cards that we could take back? And maybe we could maybe order something from you later?
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully you can airdrop things to us.
Ooh, that would be great.
Yeah, he hands you a business card, and then you flip it on the back, and it's got a map of the world, and it just kind of shows like his little route that he takes. Like, I'll be back here in probably 3 to 5 years.
Good to know. Excellent.
Okay, we'll see you then.
You haven't by chance seen a dwarf named Frathos around here. I feel like we're on the clock and we're far behind here. We don't want to defeat the dungeon. We want to be employed by the dungeon.
You hear a voice from the back of the cavern say, "Who's looking for Frathos?"
See, and I sort of just tap Grimy. I'm like, see, diplomacy.
And you see a very
Overrated.
stern-looking dwarf, bald, tattoos around where like a male pattern baldness would be, and it's weird because you're assuming that there's a beard there, but it's so caked with dirt and filth that it looks like he's just sort of like wearing kind of like a mud flap off the front of his face. And he's wearing this brown tabard that has a big kind of trapezoid figure on the front of it. And and meanwhile, the Franklin P. Terwilliger like looks at this and is like, "Gotta go." He jumps in his little.
Thank
Pleasure
you,
doing
Franklin.
business.
Frathos Granos Thintas. He has very much earned his commission by sending you hale and hearty new employees.
Well, so you've come to serve the Temple of Filth. Prove to me that you're as filthy as the rest of my force.
I reach over to Grimy and run my hand down them and just run down my own face.
Well, that works for me. What's your interest in the Temple of Fundamental Evil?
We are and I'll look
We're here
at-
to look at rocks.
Yes, we're
the
here
newest-
to look at rocks.
The exotic rocks that have never been tasted. I mean seen. I mean licked. I mean rocks.
Oh, you think rocks are impressive? Well, you came to the right temple.
I have a rock collection. I brought it. Do you want to see?
Brought it. It looks like you're wearing
There's
it.
amethyst.
Oh.
This is sediment.
Oh.
This is coal chips.
Oh.
They're tasty. Really good.
He
That
grabs
is adorable every time.
He grabs a lump of coal and he just looks at it and he takes a big bite.
Gravelbud's eyes just like widen, and it's like feels like it's found its like true master.
Mhm.
And then he takes like this big like gulp and gulps it down, and then you just see like a little trickle of oil come out of his nose, run down into his beard.
Mm.
That's a good vintage.
Gravel finds all the best rocks. In fact, we are wondering if you can't show us the best things made out of rock here.
Well, let me tell you something. I've got the need for new minions because there's a problem here in the Temple of Fundamental Evil. We've had a vicious wizard move into our territory, not aligned with any of the temples. His name is Dalrinth. Dalrinth Thunderstaff. And he's been digging around in our dungeons, opening things he shouldn't open, stealing stuff what ain't his. I need a hale and hearty set of minions to put a stop to it.
What manner of terrible creature would sneak into a dungeon and take something that doesn't belong to them?
It's disgusting. It's against the whole ethos of having a dungeon.
Against the ethos, that's what we're saying.
All we want is to lock things up and keep them from the outside world, but people from the outside world keep coming into our dungeon and taking the stuff out. That's not the purpose of a dungeon.
That takes the fun out of fundamental evil, yes.
It's a storage facility, not a swap meet.
So how exactly do we go about protecting your precious items from being taken?
Well, the number one thing you could do would be to track down this notorious sorceress thief and either extinguish him or kick him out of the dungeon back surface side.
Now, if I were an adventurer, hold on, let me pretend to get in. I need to get into character.
Yes, what's your motivation?
My motivation
Steal stuff.
I wish, hold on.
Murder innocent creatures.
They do this a lot. They put their fists on their hips and they say,
Pose.
I want to recapture my homeland and be a hero. And
Oh, you scared me
also-
there. It was so convincing.
And also gather experience points. And the best that is what I would do. I would ask, where is the most valuable artifact where an adventurer such as myself would want to steal it from the temple and show it to their awful, terrible, no good, very bad, lawful good counterparts.
The fattest of the loots, as they say.
Yes. Adventurers do not care for anything except for loot.
Well,
They like
and not
shinies
like a
even
loot.
more than we do.
My name is Herc Loot Dingles, but it's not that kind of loot.
L-O-O-O-O-O-T.
what kind of
Dingles.
dingles is it?
It's Loot Dingles. That's the kind of Dingles.
Feel like we're getting off track here.
Yeah, we've sort of missed the train. So
That's pretty common.
You were going to point us in the direction of the high security vault so that we might run into Dalrinth Thunderstaff there.
Oh, that seems like it. Oh, you want to go to the deepest, most dangerous part of the dungeon? Is that what you're saying?
I would
Well,
assume
You think
that-
Dalrinth is down there?
Well, if that is where the fattest of the loots are, to continue the metaphor, yes, probably. If we were adventurers, which I assure you we aren't. But if we were, that is where we would be heading. Therefore, that might be where they're heading.
Well, never thought of it that way. I've never done any adventuring myself, you know.
See, you need to think like an adventurer when you're a minion. You need to get into
Yes.
their mind space and sort of pretend that you are them.
Yes.
All right. Let's see. Did you see that thing on Twitter? Let me get my phone out. A funny thing happened at work last week.
Can't speak with animals. I don't understand all the twittering. No.
Well, I was just trying to think like a typical adventurer, you know, like ignore the story and bring up completely unrelated things in the real world that don't have any bearing on what's happening in the fantasy idiom.
It was so convincing that for a second we were like, where did you go and who is this adventurer right here? That's why we were so confused.
Have you considered acting?
I've considered it, but I've never been very successful at it.
You've definitely got the chops, I think. I almost had to hit you with my shield here because you are giving me real strong adventurer vibes. Did you have a hungering need to go after, continuing the metaphor, the fattest loot?
My dear friend Grimy here does not dispense compliments often, yet you are breathtaking, sir. Yes. Please continue, Frathos. Tell us.
I just had a quick hankering for some sort of flatbread covered in tomato sauce with the cheese and various meats on it.
Yes.
And
that stuff is pretty. That's okay.
And
some sort of effervescent potion that gives me a remarkable intestinal fortitude.
You also want to have dew straight from the mountain and lots of fun onions. But we need to get down to where the very powerful artifact is that we should run and protect from Dalrinth Thunderstaff. Where should we go?
Oh, all right. The deepest part of the dungeon. Well, so you go down those stairs over there. You're going to go 3 more levels. You have to jog around the water temple, which has a giant juggernaut in the middle of it. Be careful because it looks like it's just a big block of coral or whatever, but it'll roll right over you. But, you know, there's actually a side passageway that if you go around through the kitchen stores, you can probably maneuver around that and then break the seals on the 2 great
do you have like a manager's badge that you could take us past all of that?
Yes, because the whole point is we don't want to smash up your establishment, you see. Like it doesn't do any good if we, working here, set all the traps and kill all the monsters, you see, Frathos.
We're not adventurers. We're just trying to help you. Help us help you.
Help us help you.
So give me a roll here to talk it over. You're trying to convince him to help you, and I'm not sure he's going to fall for it. So
Okay.
what do you
And-
have to put into play here?
I mean, I don't want to go adventuring because my good looks I gotta protect.
All right,
So
I'll buy
that's
that.
that's
Mhm.
my motivation.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I got.
Can Gravelbutt assist by drinking the Quicksilver potion?
Sure. What are you going to say when you drink it?
So Gravelbutt's kind of bored while listening to them figure this out.
Yeah.
So Gravelbutt is very excited for this silver tongue.
Yeah.
She loves the taste of silver. She is very, so she kind of sits there and Gravelbutt likes that a lot. Excuse me, can you said you have exotic rocks, right?
Oh, yes.
Where's the one you need to protect the most? We want to help protect.
Oh, well, the one that I have that I have to protect the most is in this bronze box here.
Oh, why?
Well, because it contains the soul of a demigod.
Oh,
Oh,
that is the rock contains the soul.
A portion of it, yes.
What
kind
color
of
is this rock?
rock?
It's a quartz.
Well, I feel like we're in for a side adventure. Okay, let's go.
I've never tasted a quartz.
It's like 2 pints.
You want to taste the soul of a demigod?
No, it's a, from my query, it's a phrase, a idiom, you could say. Taste the
Oh.
quartz, you've tasted it all.
Yeah, it's like taste the rainbow, but if you're an earth elemental.
Hey.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, if you want to be touched by the power of fundamental filth, I'm here to preach.
Oh, well, I think we all do, don't we?
I didn't
Sure.
until now.
I mean, that sounds like a fun time to me.
Well-
Personally, that sounds like a great way to spend a Saturday night, if you ask me.
Also, I'm sure if we are touched by the fundamental evil of filth, we are going to be better prepared to protect said already temple from other less filthy beings, such as your problem wizard.
As long as you can do it quickly, Frathos, we're very much on the clock, you see.
Yes.
Like, we charge by the hour, and
I
this is
feel
going
as
to
though
become...
we have about 25 minutes, and then
Yeah.
everything is gonna really
Clock
go.
is ticking,
Yeah.
or the
It's,
temple's
again,
going to
Grimy,
explode.
it's 4 times. Grimy is correct. 4. They haven't been right 4 times in the entire time I've known them, and then 4
You're
times.
so full of it.
No, I'm covered in it. It's filth. You should know this.
Ah.
All right.
Well, if you're really interested in being touched by the true power of fundamental filth,
That's
well,
weird when you say it like that.
who would like to step up to the top of the pyramid and go first? And he points up at the column of rock that has the manacles hanging off of it.
Gravelbutt. Gravelbutt will be tribute. Gravel. She's already walking that way.
Oh, it makes sense when they say it. Oh.
All right. Very good. So you go up to the top, and he chains you to the pillar up there. And then he begins chanting, and you can see that the mound of packed dirt that forms this pyramid begins to kind of like liquefy and begin to burble and undulate, right? But you're standing on the top of it, and he opens this. He just sort of like raises his hands like this, and the bronze box opens of its own accord, and suddenly this giant purple quartz just kind of like rises up. And as it rises up, you see kind of this scintillating sickly yellow light begin to radiate around around the chamber. And as it rises higher and higher up into the chamber, Gravel but begins to sink into the liquefied, undulating soil of the pyramid. And his chanting reaches a feverish pitch. And Gravel Butt, you can hear the cloying voice of Arboganast, the
All right.
demigod of fundamental filth. And it reaches out to you and it says, "My child, do you truly wish to become touched by my power?"
Gravelbutt says yes. Gravelbutt loves power.
Then open your eyes and accept my blessing. And all of a sudden, like this gross, like silty kind of like, like muck that you're surrounded with and stuff goes like into your, whatever your elemental tear ducts are, and forces its way in through your eyes. Roll to avoid danger.
All right, Gravelbutt thought she was getting some quartz, and she is not. How many dice am I rolling?
Well, you got stone skin, so I'll give you one for that.
Okay. Her motivation was to be able to eat a quartz.
You are playing into your motivation, so I'll give you one for that. So give me two dice.
5 and 6.
Oh, you got a 6. All right. So your skin, you feel yourself kind of like swell to like twice your height. And all of a sudden you are buoyed up to the top of this pyramid, and you return and you just shatter the manacles. And you are now, what were you, 4 feet tall?
I was 3 feet.
3 foot. You're now 6 feet tall. And you have kind of like an acid magma type of skin. It's not hot, but there are plates of stone that your stone skin has shattered, and underneath there's this sort of like bizarre thick acetic gel that forms the core of your body now.
Wow.
The moment.
And when Arboganast essence goes into your eyes, like you feel it kind of like go through your head, and then all of a sudden you can taste every single taste of every single piece of rot that Arboganast has ever like dissolved.
Oh, it tastes awful, but this power. This rocks!
You look super cool. Wow.
I'm giving you a new trait. It's called Rotten to the Core.
All right.
Wow.
Nice.
Cool.
Gravelbutt, that's wow.
You're
all so short.
Well, I'm still like 6'6". You're still shorter than I am, but I'm shorter than I was before. You look super badass, though. This is very cool. You're like a boss monster now instead of a minion.
No, this is a marked improvement, I must say.
Yes.
When you begin to like stride down the pyramid, which has resumed its like fully solid form, Phrathos just sort of like looks at you like aghast, and you hear him kind of like mutter like, I don't believe, I never, you're the only one to ever have survived.
Yes.
Arboganast's blessing.
That is right.
I
Gravel
serve
at
you.
my feet.
I serve you. I serve you. I serve you.
All hail.
Gravelbutt. Go, Gravelbutt.
Take us to where we need to go. Gravelbutt kind of looks around, not used to this like power and command.
I'm gonna look at the others and be like, I think that we have a new leader.
I mean, I don't know how I'm gonna compete with that.
I mean, it's all in the delivery. That's for certain. Yes.
Lead
Please take
on.
us where we want to go.
Lead on, Godlebot.
To the vault, Phrathos. The vault. That is where we
Vault.
shall face the wizard.
The,
Yes.
When
The
we
deepest,
meet
the most-
wizard.
the deepest, the darkest, the most dangerous point of the dungeon.
At least as much as we can traverse in the next roughly 18 minutes. Yes.
And also isn't the bathrooms.
And he leads you through the labyrinthine corridors of the Temple of Fundamental Evil, and he brings you to two huge oaken doors that are bound with giant brass bands and have bronze and copper chains that are hanging from side to side. And he says, "No one has ever been allowed to bypass these wards, but if you insist," and he reaches into underneath his brown tabard and he pulls out a single bronze key and he puts it in the lock and he turns it, and you feel a jolt of electricity like come flying off the door, and his hand is literally scorched and burned from where the electricity like went into his arm, and he crumples over and he turns the lock and he says, "By your leave." And the doors swing open and then he crumples to the ground.
Oh, I did not
I
realize
think,
that was
I
going
think we
to
need to
happen.
have an F in chat for that one. Everybody,
Yes.
pay your respects.
F in
F.
the F. Where am I
Smash
putting
the
my
F.
where what is happening?
Is this
Before
the door to the
you-
vault?
Yes,
Is
I
a
want-
huge before you is a huge echoing hall, which was once evidently the scene of great revels celebrating the triumphs of the temple. The floor of the place is littered with skeletons, skulls, and the bones of various humans and humanoids. Runes of glowing gray and inky black mark the walls. Weird light comes from copper sconces, and strange multicolored flames leap from them, radiating an odd prismatic pattern. At the far end of the wall, a huge dais of translucent alabaster commands the chamber. Atop the dais is an enormous throne of silver adorned with hundreds of precious gems. These are set to form leering demon faces, skulls, and other horrid creatures. Sitting on the throne, a thin wizard with a long reddish beard chants words of eldritch power as his skin begins to blister and peel away. Atop a narrow column of marble sits a large green vase made of polished jade. Wisps of blue smoke trickle from the mage's mouth and slither into the top of the vase as his sorcerous incantations grow ever more fervent. On either side of the mage, giant spectral hounds glare down at you with glowing blue eyes.
I pick up Phrathos's body. Like just throw him over my shoulder, and I'm like, "See, his story didn't add up." He's like, "No one can break the seal. Who are all these dead people? Who's this wizard?"
I would like to make a second attempt at throwing my shield at this wizard and distract him. I would like to try that maneuver again, and I would like to add the trait: I should not run away from fights to this
Okay.
scene.
So what to what effect are you trying to like distract the wizard? Are you
I mean, I would like to smack him so hard with this shield that he has to stop chanting. Essentially, like
Mhm.
I would like to like really just ding him upside the head pretty dang good if I can.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you're trying to get violent with him.
Yes, I am trying to get violent. I am going to run up and throw my shield as hard as I can. Instead of running from the fight, I'm going to run to the fight.
Mhm.
And as I go, I am also behind me going to say, "We should probably do this together," so that I can also add the "it's better to be a team than a solo rider" to this.
Yes,
So the
stop
game
the ceremony. That's the plan.
the game maxes out at 3 dice. So I think you've got at least 3 traits in play.
I do.
All right, give me a roll here. You're gonna charge forward. And,
2 6s and a 1.
okay. All right. So you get to choose 2 things. Or I'm sorry. Yeah, you get to choose 2 things off the Get Violent list. You don't take harm. You deal harm to them. You get them out of the way. You take something from them.
I would like to get them out of the way, and I would like to take the vase.
Okay. All right. So I think the way that this plays out is you knock the wizard off the throne, and you grab the vase off the top of the little pillar. And so you have successfully interrupted the ritual that this mage was doing.
Holy crap! I didn't expect that to work.
But you've now got his attention.
Well played, Grimy. Well played. Actually, when the wizard, I just step forward and I say, "Hold, wizard. There's no need for you to be destroyed here. Yes, we work for Fecna Bright Eyes, but perhaps you can make us a superior offer. We're not necessarily loyal so much as fear motivated. You see."
All right. Interesting. I think you're going to
Is that a talk it over or
well, he's not necessarily willing to listen. You've just interrupted like the key ritual he was performing, and you've stolen the major component of that.
If he insists on being destroyed, so be it. I just wanted to give him an opportunity to still accomplish what he wanted and us to gain in the process.
Yeah, I think this is probably basically like a cunning ploy kind of thing. Like you're trying to create a new scene trait that he might be open to listening to you. It's kind of an advantage. So what do you think comes into play in this case?
Appeal to ego. He wants to be a lich, and if he doesn't play ball, he's not gonna. So, like, hey, you know, we're already working for one lich. There's a lich right there. Like, we've got to go all the way back. He's got to do the ritual. Probably going to double cross us. Fecna's terrible. See, now here we can serve this day. We've got filth. Obviously, it's been great for gravel, but like, there's an opportunity for a win-win here. Or we can destroy you if that is what you prefer.
I think this move wouldn't normally work, but I think because you've got the vase right now, that'll give you a die.
Can I help in the background? Because I have a great pun for this. I'm going to, as he's telling him to, stand aside and not get destroyed, Herc is just going to pull out his bassoon and have like a nice deep bass line and say, "Move, lich, get out the way. Get out the way, lich, get out the way. Move, lich." And that's the bass line to what Sir Aestinus is saying.
All right, so I'll give you two dice for this. Let's see where it goes.
That's a 5 and a 6.
Nice.
All right. So you're just trying to create an advantage here, right? So
no, let me say specifically what I'm trying to do. If he makes a good enough offer, I'm legit willing to work for the guy.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, mechanically, this is like to get him to consider it, not necessarily.
Or we'll destroy him. It's fine.
Right. And so so he raises his hand, and you see that it's like already kind of like half skeleton, and it's wreathed in necrotic energy.
Yes, I'm half undead too. That's not that impressive.
And he says, "What is it you seek?"
Now we're negotiating. Yes, what do we want, you all? What do
I would like...
You, ghoul, what is it you seek?
Oh, what do I think? Oh, what I want isn't much. I just want to have absolute dominion over my own floor, that I can have my own minions. I can arrange the traps. Also, don't destroy my friends here. Some of them are stinky and, dare I say, a bit disagreeable, but they're capable, all very capable lieutenants. We just want to rise in the ranks of your lichdom that will reign for 1,000 years or whatever.
So you
Lieutenant
seek
Blue
protection for
Dangles.
your friends, and you seek your
Promotion for myself and my friends. Promotion, sir. You shall need lieutenants. Look at that. You had no guards here. We walked in. My goblin defeated you in a single shield throw. I shouldn't have to convince you this much. You've already been undone, man. Now we're willing to undo those that wish to undo you.
He closes his fist, and the two spectral hounds on either side of him coalesce into full-on like fleshy scaled demon hounds, and he says, "Don't underestimate my guards so easily. They are not of this world, but they will bring you to theirs if I so command it. What do you seek, ogre?"
Oh, I would really like to have like a records deal. Like a 3 record with like a recording studio and some backup dancers, maybe like a couple of city tour, you know what I mean, to promote the albums as they come out. Just I'm an artist at heart, and then maybe I can have like a room or 2 in the dungeon to retire on.
So, trapped in a prison of your own fame, I understand. What about you, goblin? What do you desire?
I just want to be able to continue to protect my friends. I mean, if Herc is going to go out into the world and become like a famous pop star, he's going to need a bodyguard. And so I'd be happy to just, protect my friend because, he's pretty cool. And if you haven't noticed, kind of squishy and needs lots of protection. So I guess that's what I want, is to be able to continue to protect my friends.
Humility is not a trait that I admire, but loyalty is one that I find useful.
Oh, there's nothing humble about me. I'm the best freaking protector these guys could possibly have.
Sounds like maybe you should be in charge.
They were
Thank
saying
you.
that the whole
Thank
time,
you.
actually.
I appreciate that you're understanding this.
Gravelbutt, are you going to let this insurrection against your authority proceed unimpeded?
I believe that's 5 times grimy, right? 5.
You,
5.
odious creature of filth and rock. What do you desire?
Gravelbutt likes new and shiny gems and minerals, and Gravelbutt dreams of day that Minion bring Gravelbutt her own mystery box of gems I've never tried, so I can taste new ones daily, preferably.
I have a mining operation in the south, which you might find very exciting. And finally, what about this dog?
There's just this one spot right in the back of my head, like right between my ears, and I just Wolf is just gonna start going backwards in a circle, kind of like trying to look at the back of her own head. And I just have an itch, and if you could just give me a little scratch.
And when you start doing that, like the 2 giant demon dogs on either side of him,
Yeah.
like start looking at each other like, oh yeah, I got the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, let me consider your offer, and in return, you'll allow me to complete my transformation and finish my transference into the phylactery.
Sure.
Yes.
Do you need the whole vase? Because I know Gravelbutt really wanted to have a nibble of one of the handles.
Lick is what they wanted. I
If
believe
we're
you can.
offering nibble,
I mean, it's up to you. Well, are you Don Dalrinth? We heard that there was a Dalrinth. Are you Dalrinth?
That is I, Dalrin
Oh, okay, good.
Thunderstaff.
In that case, there isn't another wizard who's like. Anyway, the point
Well,
is
there
that
is the
Gravel-
one.
There
in
is
there.
no other wizard with my power.
And as he puts his hand up like this, and you realize that the reason he's holding his hand like this is because he has a staff of air, of
Oh.
literal thunder that he's clutching.
That is
that's
so
like your
badass.
name. He's got a staff of thunder, so his name is Thunderstaff. I get it.
Hey,
But
no,
yeah,
it's
Gravelbutt
very
wanted
fitting.
a little taste of the jade vase.
Just a lick. Lick.
a
Please
little
do
bit.
not doom us all. Yes, lick the vase, Gravel, but not the teeth, just the tongue.
Okay.
Goblin, bring the vase forward.
All right, so the way that this is going to play out, I'm going to have each of you roll a single d6, and it'll count as a pool for the whole thing. So if any of the 5 of you gets a 6, you will convince him to take you up on the offer. But if it's a 4 or 5, bad things are going to start to happen, but we'll see. Do we get 2 6s? Wow, nice. Okay, so that's a critical success. Yeah, so cut to 1 year later. Herc Lootdingles is hanging out in the metropolis of Shallow Sand. He's got a penthouse apartment that he's rented in the top floor of the best hotel.
Yeah.
He's being wined and dined by the city's elite glitterati, who all want to hear his latest hit single, which is named what?
Toss a rock to your gravel. Oh, temple of filthy. Oh, temple of filthy. Oh, toss, and then that's just that a lot.
And Sir Estinus has an entire level of the dungeon which has been themed out according to what?
Well, I have some prisoners that I've caught that I use for target practice. I've got some mercenaries and sellswords because whenever they do finally approach me, I'm like, hey, perhaps you should just come on the payroll and not die. So we do have a reading group. There's some particularly well-informed guests, that were lurking the premises. They were there when the Shakespeare, the poet, was alive. So I've just tried to make it a little bit more of a cerebral place. And on occasion, I have to take up my sword and thump someone. But, for the most part, we're very libertine down in this dungeon.
Grimy Liquidle, what was the courageous and brave thing that you did when the archwizard Fecna decided to go after Herc and the rest of your party for betraying him?
I actually think that Grimy gave their life to protect Herc.
Wow.
If you'll be my bodyguard, I will be your long lost pal.
I think that Grimy did everything they could to make sure that Herc continued in his life of fame and great success. But one day, Grimy's cousin Brimy joined the crew and continued on in protection of Herc and all
Right.
of Grimy's friends.
If only they'd listen to me and learn to block.
They did. It's just that sometimes using your body is more
Yep.
effective.
Gravelbutt, what's the most exotic mineral that you've managed to taste now that you've taken over all of Lord Thunderstaff's undead mining operations?
That would be Alexandrite. Gravelbutt has all of the Alexandrite, and they actually hear of Grimy's demise and make sure they have the prettiest tombstone.
Woof, did you ever get that itch scratched?
I am pleased to say that not only did Woof get that itch scratch, but the demon dogs and Woof have started a little back of the head scratching train with the
Yep.
three of them just going in a circle,
Yep.
scratching the back of each other's heads and catching each other's tails,
Yep.
napping curled up in a bed together.
It's like a woof, bork, 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 Ouroboros.
That is
a
adorable.
Boroboros?
Bork, bork, boros.
Congratulations, everyone. You have successfully taken over the Temple of Fundamental Evil.
And we also probably created a lifelong enemy in our former boss, Fekna.
Well, the good news is he's not immortal, so we just have to outlast him. It's
True.
fine.
Yeah, screw Fekna. We got a much better deal.
Yeah, seriously.
Why don't we quick go around the horn and have everybody kind of give out your social deets and anything special that you've got coming up. We'll start with Ruben here.
Oh, hello. I should probably drop that voice now. Hi, everybody. I'm the internet's Ruben Bressler. You can follow me everywhere at the doobly-doo, the MOXREUBY. I am the Dungeon Master for the Broken Pact on the D&D Twitch and YouTube channels, and I'm also one of the co-hosts of the Magic Mike's podcast, MICS, that's a pun, where we cover the news and the week that was in Magic the Gathering. And I also have something very exciting D&D related coming up that I can announce on my Twitter very soon. So please stay tuned to my socials for that.
Cool. B Dave, I know you've got an Indiegogo going.
That's true, but I don't want to drop this voice. Yeah, B. Dave Walters. I say words about things at B. Dave Walters on Twitter. I am fundraising for a documentary called Dear America from a Black Guy. It is pinned right at the top, trying to save the country. No big deal. I'm somewhere 7 days a week. The most D&D related thing is with Aki on Thursdays at Dungeons & Dragons: The Darkened Wish on twitch.tv/D&D. Thursday mornings, I'm on Ascension on Roll for It. Like, I'm literally doing 1,000 things. Just follow me on Twitter. And I just turn up whenever I get to play with amazing people like this. Yeah.
Nice. Aki.
Hi, everybody. I'm Aki, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at MixGenie in a Bottle. That's MXGINIINABOTTLE. And all of my shows you can also find on my Twitch channel, not only my personal streams, but my schedule for every other stream that I do at twitch.tv/ShidareAki. That's SHIDAREAKI. But on Thursdays, yes, you can see me with B. Dave Walters on twitch.tv/DND playing A Darkened Wish. I play the twins Karen and Karin. And then you can catch me on Sundays right here on Saving Throws Show with New Pantheon. I play that with a bunch of Saving Throws most well-known faces, including Abria Iyengar, our Eric Reichart, and Sam Delev, and our DM, our storyteller, our herald, that is, Stephen J. Pope. And then on Mondays, you can catch me on the D&D channel again, playing with a bunch of wonderful people over at Roll20, Lost Mine and Fandelver. That's at 1 p.m. And then after that, on Q Times, you can see me on Clear Skies, which is a Star Trek RPG. Yes, I do lots of things as well. I'm more than happy to do more. So yes, catch me on all the things when you get the chance.
Ashlyn.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ashlyn Rose. You can find me on Twitter at Ashlyn Rose, which is where you'd find out probably anything I'm doing. You can also see me on Instagram as RAR. It's Ashlyn, where I post a lot of my cosplays that I make and any shenanigans I'm up to. Like Ruben said, I am part of the Broken Pact team, and you can find us on the D&D channel. Hopefully, we'll have more about that coming soon. And if you want to hear any of my voiceovers, you can go to ashlynrose.com.
Cool. Nega Oryx.
Hi, hello. I'm Nega Oryx. I was playing Wolf Bork 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 for you tonight. I am a full-time streamer here on Twitch, so you can catch me live 4 to 5 days a week at twitch.tv/NegaOryx. On Tuesdays, you can catch me on the Table Story channel at 1 p.m. Pacific in Witchcraft and Wizardry, a Harry Potter tabletop RPG where I play a second-year Gryffindor student, and I am a reckless, terrible 12-year-old, and it's wonderful. On Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Pacific, you can catch me here at
Saving Throw Show on the Dungeons and Dragons Adventure Pirates of Salt Bay, playing the Void Tiefling Rogue Trislin Arana. And I'm also a freelance host. I have a lot of really nifty hosting gigs coming up soon. So the best way to stay up to date with what I'm doing with hosting, voice acting, Twitch streaming, and all that is just follow along on Twitter. It's NEGAORYX. Thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun.
I want to thank you all for playing. This is like I said, the first time that
Yeah.
I run the system, and I hope you really had fun. I had a great time.
That was great. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thanks for
Tom.
letting us be your guinea pigs.
Yeah.
Wait, where to find
Had a
you,
good time.
Tom?
Yes.
Yeah.
I am at 6 hit points on Twitter. I was formerly at Dungeon Bastard, and I've decided to retire that character. And so any kind of RPG stuff that I post goes at 6 hit points. And it's like right now, it's mostly stuff that catches my eyes, like things that I'm interested in, and
Yeah.
Kickstarters I back, things like that. So
Fun system, easy system too. So yeah, go check out the.
it's called For the Dungeon.
And contrary to what you might believe, you only have 5 hit points and not 6. But you know, close
Oh,
enough.
did I put the? Maybe I put the wrong number of bubbles on there. Well, no, if you roll a 6, you're once you get 6, you're dead for sure. You can't
Right.
roll.
I know.
Can't roll above, right? Yeah,
I
yeah.
know.
Oh, I put the wrong number of bubbles on there.
So
Yeah, I
there
made.
was indeed 6 hit points. Good to know.
Oh, right. Blood sugar. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's
Put
a fun
food
system.
in your body, Tom. Put a food in your body.
I did it before, and now I needed to do it again. Why?
Put food in your body, Tom.
Before we go, well, I mean, thanks
Dom.
everybody for playing along. I do want to thank everybody who tuned in and made a donation. We raised a lot
Yes.
of money. We raised like
Yes.
over, how much did we raise, Dom?
You raised nearly $1,400. You raised
Wow.
$1,476.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
Hey,
Awesome.
if somebody can throw a
Incredible.
$24 in there, we'll be at
24, make it
1,400. I don't
even,
know.
make it
Yeah,
all
no
even.
pressure, no
Wow.
pressure. But if you
Yeah.
can like toss in $24, it's a
No
nice,
good.
it's a nice even 1,400.
Yeah.
This was so much fun, Tom. Thank you so much for running this. And this was chaotic and wonderful and adventure and you know, always, and I would play with all of you again, and I'm sure I will.
Awesome. I want to thank everybody who donated, everybody who spread the word, and everybody like our mods and all that who help keep the channel safe, friendly, you know, clean and accessible. Always, you know, your time and talent and devotion, and it certainly helps make the channel the friendly place that it is. So thank you so much. Don't go anywhere, anybody, because Dom has more in store for all of you. But thank you so much for tuning in for this, and stay tuned for more as our ENDALZ marathon continues right here on Saving Throw Show.
Thank you, everybody.